Hello, friends and viewers, newbies, oldies. What am I kidding? You're all friends here. You're all friendolas. And welcome back to, after first week off, we are back with Yakshas, episode 9. We're almost to the big boy numbers. I've only got 2 people here who were actually here last time. Although I think it would be funny to try and get Mike to tell us what happened last session, because I'm pretty sure Gunner's told him everything about it. That or him just having to make shit up would equally be funny, and he'd probably end up being right.
I mean, here's the thing. It really blew my mind whenever the monster from the Black Lagoon came on and brought some barbecue, because I was not expecting him to be a good guy.
I know, like, that cutaway scene from episode 5 had really set him up as being not the antagonist, but the villain.
Yeah! Christ.
Alright, for my good boys who were here last time, this is just going to be a coin flip, I guess. So 1 or 2. Who wants high, who wants low?
I'll take high.
Gunner knows.
What the fuck? James, you liar! You didn't roll that, someone else did.
Well, it's just like last Friday when you're like, James, you can't roll high! What is this? How can you be winning at this game?
On a very important skill check.
That's very out of James's character normally.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
So-
just like,
He's the reverse Samson. He cuts his hair, and all of a sudden he's got powers.
Right?
dude, is that how this works?
Your bad, yeah. Luck is stored in the hair, and you had a lot of bad. You had a lot of bad luck.
Ha.
God, let's not start that now.
Shee.
Let's see. So, well, it was kind of a non-linear type episode, so I'll just go person by person. Let's start with Howler. So, coming back, first he decided to play some magic, or he was working on his magic deck. I don't remember if he actually played with anybody.
No, I didn't play. He just deck
Gotcha.
building.
He was taking out all the burn cards.
All the area effect burn cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so, he gets, basically him and him and King get to talking, and King basically starts having flashbacks and a load of PTSD, which culminates in him rewriting his own Prime Directive. Basically saying if he feels that there's a conflict between his goals and, his new parameters and of preservation of life, I believe. But if he believes there's a conflict of goals between that and the orders he's been given, he can disobey a direct order. More or less, yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Basically, if it came down to killing a whole bunch of people or not, he would not. So
He's not going to drop a nuclear strike on Howler's position anymore.
Ha.
So, that being the case, then we move on to Sin. Oh boy. Sin got pissed drunk and started getting texts. And these texts were from, Gunnar is Gunnar knows that this is, stealing is a sin. Capital S. So
Smiley face.
This is, smiley face. So, the Komet know where he is and is after him, and by extension, us. So, not only do we have to deal with the fucking Knights of the Ochre Blade, we have to deal with fucking Komet, and Hapia,
And Kairos.
Rose. Yeah, guys, we're fucked.
And also, if we're ever in Texas, we deal with the Rangers.
Jesus, don't remind me.
And if there are any cartel members that have a grudge.
Yeah. And if we ever work our way up to the Canadian places and we run into any purifiers.
No, that's Texas.
Yeah, the Purifiers are an extant branch of the Rangers.
Well, let's just stay away from Canada anyways.
Yeah, sure.
Just out of principle.
Audience, they think they're going to stay away from Canada.
So, that being the case, Indiana helped him with that. He wanted to flush his phone down the toilet, but we managed to keep him from doing that. At first, he actually thought they were talking about Indiana. They were talking about her for whatever fucking reason, because he's drunk as a skunk.
He also thought it was Set.
Yes, texting about Indiana, and he's like, what? Nah, Set, you're just playing jokes. And, oh, fuck, they did say see you in New Orleans, didn't they?
No, they said, see you in Louisiana, winky face.
Ah, fuck.
God.
We're so fucking screwed. Anyways, let's see. What did Indiana do? I think she talked to Lashana. And
Indiana did a lot of things.
because we talked to Lashana, we talked to the captain, which ended, well. We talked. Oh, because first we talked to Lashana, and basically, she said, "Yeah, actually, I don't remember that conversation at all. I think I just repressed that whole scene, because I think things were slightly better with her and Lashana, because she said, "Yeah, we can meet at 8 now instead of 4:30." So, there's that. Oh, and then we got a call from Kairos, and she said, "Yeah, I'll fucking work for you." To which somebody flipped me the bird. And then we went and talked to the captain, and they were like, "Hey, I told Kairos I'd work for them. Let me be a double agent." And by the way, here's this arm I'm working on.
Tangled web.
Yeah, like a spider.
You also talked about that whole radio thing, the fact that you're still getting transmissions that are as clear as when you were in Guatemala.
Oh, yeah, we talked about the fact that shortwave radios, unless it's fucking super powerful, which we would know about. Let's be honest. If you're going to build a 20... let's see, so from here to Guatemala, you would probably need a fucking 30 or 40 gigawatt power station just to power this radio. And normally that's under FM conditions, but this is short range. This is AM. So, with no loss in quality, we have to assume that the transceiver is somewhere on this ship.
And who did you start pointing fingers at?
Oh, I remember who you
don't
started
you
pointing
dare
fingers at.
fucking say I'm pointing fingers. You were pointing fingers at Myrrh, Miss Captain Lady.
But I'm also Myrrh.
Mm-hmm.
I am the man of many hats.
So, basically, Captain was like, "Yeah, keep an eye on Myrrh, and don't tell Frank because he'll get mad." And she's like, "It's Myrrh. He wouldn't do this." Yeah, but the only people that would want to do this are Kairos, and Kairos are infected. Which makes a whole lot more sense than I'm willing to admit.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I was like, well, maybe there's more infected on here. They're like, well, we've been out to sea long enough that most of this crew would start showing signs. And also, that's another good point. I fucking hate it. She's like, either you're doing it or someone else is. Which is it?
Gunner, which is it?
Fuck you.
Ah.
I love when all of my players are liars.
I'm not lying anymore. We said no more secrets. Fuck you.
Yeah, but you're already forming a tangled web. Now you're just lying to NPCs, not to other players.
We said
Oh,
no
I'll
more
work for
secrets.
you. Oh, I'll double agent them.
Yeah, because that's the right thing to do. We need to have information from them on the inside. And so the only way to do that is to be on the inside.
Fair.
So, did I miss anything else important?
No one's been able to get in touch with Frank for like 2 days now. And Murr's like, yeah, if it hits 3 days and I can't, I'm calling suicide watch on him.
Yeah. That about covers Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, Howler tried to talk to Frank, and Howler couldn't get to Frank, and Murr couldn't get to Frank, and someone suggested sending Lashana to Frank, and that didn't, who knows.
And then everyone was like, oh, that'll definitely not work. She can't get to him when he's wanting to talk to people. Speaking of Frank, though, that's actually a very good segue. So, is Frank a deep sleeper? Is Frank a deep dreamer?
Frank is the kind of guy who, he sleeps. I'd say he sleeps pretty light at this point. After all he's been through in his life, he can't afford to sleep deep.
That's fair. And your sleep's been even more fitful these last few days because you've had a lot on your mind.
Right.
But you try and push yourself to stay awake too much, nature's going to take its course and it's going to make you sleep.
Right.
And it's in one of those moments where, for whatever reason, Frank, dealing with this, grappling with the demons that are brought up by the recent events, you pushed as long as you could. You did pretty good for a man your age. But Somehow the Sandman snuck up on you and you fell asleep.
Right.
And you're not even aware of it at first, but you're in the cockpit of the ogre. You're not
Okay.
even aware at first that you're sleeping.
Sure.
You're in a town. Dark, kind of foggy everywhere. It's just you and the ogre, and you have this sense that you're being watched and that something is dangerous.
Okay.
You look down at your hands, it's your young hands.
Mm.
You're still in your ranger uniform. You can see the good old glance over at your shoulder and you see the good old red, white, and blue of Texas on your patch.
Sure.
What's Frank thinking right now? What's Dream Frank thinking?
Dream Frank? Dream Frank is kind of looking around, and he probably is gonna. He's examining the cockpit for any danger. If he's in his mech, there is a potential for danger.
There's nothing with you in the cockpit, obviously.
Okay.
Not even your Agni.
Okay. Because yeah,
You
the
look-
Agni's a recent thing anyway.
You're looking around. And have you ever been so damn tired that you're just starting to hit that point where you're seeing things that aren't really there? Shadows, ghosts, tracers.
Yeah.
You're seeing those. There's dark shapes that seem to flitter in and out between the tight alleyways between buildings. And as you start looking more closely at these, you start seeing beady little white eyes, first here, then somewhere else. And you start noticing these buildings. First, they were just nondescript buildings. They're getting smaller, they're getting more compact, more tightly pushed into one spot, made out of corrugated iron, slapped together bits of plywood. It's a shanty town.
Okay. Frank is on definite high guard. He's got his flamethrower like ready.
Shapes start coming out from between the alleys, Frank. Vaguely humanoid. They're all
He's
holding
gonna-
weapons.
Well, he's gonna do what he's supposed to do. He's gonna burn him.
You pull the trigger, the flames shoot out. The shadows don't recoil away from the flame or even make shadow. It's just that loud whoosh and that bright orange. And it just keeps coming in, and you start making out through the fire and the flames, if you will. You see your wife. You see your son. You see your friends from when you were a purifier. And they're just watching you.
Okay.
How you feeling? Is this about the time you start realizing things aren't
I'm
the way
not
they're supposed to
hearing
be?
you. Hold on.
Oh. Did I
Hold
cut
on, say
out?
something.
Hello?
God damn it! I'm only hearing out of one ear. Today has been a fucking nightmare. Give me one sec.
Ladies and
Fitting.
gentlemen, welcome to our usual technical issues.
Okay. Okay, I'm good. Sorry, continue.
Okay. I was just saying. Is this about the time that Frank starts realizing, oh, I might not be in the real world anymore?
Yeah, no. Frank, probably at this point, is looking at all this. He stops kind of doing whatever he's doing, and he powers down the flamethrower. He just kind of leans back in his chair, kind of cautiously eyeing whatever's going on.
More and more shadows start filtering out of the darkness that now takes over without the bright light from the flamethrower. And the ones that you do see, the people that you can make out, they get bigger as they get closer. As they get closer in proximity, they get taller in height until they're bigger than the ogre. And their shapes coil around it. And they're just watching you, pointing. Their mouths are open. And it's just the whoosh of that flamethrower from every one of them.
Damn, that's cool. Frank is gonna wake up. he just
You wake
starts. He starts in like a cold sweat. Just kind of like looks around his room for a second. Maybe he reaches for his sawed off that's always on the bedside table. Kind of holds his hand over it for a second and then slowly retracts it and sits back up. Gets up, walks to the bathroom, sees that he's got a 5 o'clock shadow and starts shaving it, you know? And like he starts shaving his face, and then he kind of runs his hands through his hair, and then he starts shaving his head.
You notice as you bring the razor up and you start cutting off your head, for the briefest moments when you start doing the sides, that whir of the razor sounds like a whoosh for just a brief moment.
Yeah.
What state's the room in? Since you've been in here alone for 2 days.
It doesn't smell good, but it's not untidy. Frank hasn't showered or taken care of himself in the last like couple days. But he hasn't like been trashing it. The mini fridge has not been opened. He has not drank a single bit. It smells like cigarettes in here. He broke into his secret stash that he doesn't tell Mur about. Smells like nicotine and body odor.
Without the whir of the razor, maybe once you're done. And how close to the grain are you going? Are you just going for the bald versus shaved debate?
Chrome Dome. He like actually after he gets like the majority of it with the electric razor, he pulls out like his fucking like bladed razor and like shaves the rest of it.
And you're doing that. It's quiet. It's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And but a certain someone comes knocking at the door. I'll leave that to them.
Frank? Are you there?
You don't get a response.
You probably hear the sound of something, pushing on the door and the sound of someone sliding to the floor. Alright. If it's time for me to talk, you need to listen. I suppose that's how it is. I was 12 the first time I was strapped into a cockpit in the sala. They had just finished using a pressure washer to finish spraying what was left of the last pilot out of him. They called it the conditioning program. There were 14 of us in that class, each paired with a mech who had lost its pilot. By the end of that training course, there were 7 of us. The rest had washed out. We never saw them again. I killed my first person at the end of that program. A boy, not much older than me. We ambushed a group of bandits we had been sent to clear out. He tried to escape, but didn't make it far before I put one of Sala's guns through his cockpit glass and pulled the trigger. Of course, they don't consider mech kills in the Ochre Blades. According to them, my first true kill was about 2 years after that, when I was sent to scout out a happier research station. A lot like the ones we just torched. We were after a pallet of chemicals for a client. I was tasked with covering the group while they loaded the chemicals by hand onto a truck. This poor girl, not more than 20, walked into the room where we were. We tried to hide, but she knew something was wrong and made a move to raise an alarm. She wasn't even a guard, just a researcher. I was in... She didn't have a chance. I was invisible. We finished loading the truck and were gone long before any alarm was sounded. Cut and dry, we told ourselves. Cut and dry. I don't know what's going on in that head of yours, but I can probably sympathize with more than you realize.
And maybe you hear like the sink go for a second, and then you hear the door open.
Oh,
And,
well, she would feel the door open and probably
oh,
fall
yeah.
backwards in.
Yeah, and like maybe as you look up, you see Frank, a very different looking man right now. Yeah, he's still wearing the same clothes he usually wears. But there's something a lot colder about him. And of course, he's completely shaved. Like he shaved off like his beard. He shaved off his hair. And his face just looks like fucking like just hard. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he walks out and he sits down, says, you know, I was born before all this shit. Pretty much all of it. 1980s into the 90s, early 2000s. It was a different place. You didn't have to... I mean, you had to fight, but you didn't have to, like, fight, you know? It was, got a lot tougher. Before all this happened, got me a wife, kid, white picket, all that shit. I was the modern model of a semi-successful middle-class existence. And, yeah, Shiva happened. And I did what I had to survive. Lifted a mech from the work site that I was at, retrofitted it, figured I would do something good. Keep a hold of the neighborhood, make sure looters didn't come round. Ended up having to coalesce with the Rangers. Said I was too much trouble to fuck with, and instead figured they'd just recruit me because I already had a mech. And I did my good boy shit. Did whatever they told me. Paid good. Wife and kid. Kid was only, at this point, maybe 8, 9. He, kept food in our bellies, kept us safe, got us moved to a neighborhood that wasn't a destroyed crater, shit like that. Then they told me, Frank, got a promotion for you. Ah, fuck it. They said, Domingo, we got a promotion for you. How would you like to be a lieutenant? How would you like to be Lieutenant Ordonez? And I said, what's the pay? We laughed. It was a good time, Put me in training for purifiers. Now, I don't know if you know what purifiers do, but we cleaned up undesirables for about a decade. My job was to go to camps filled with infected and to burn that and everyone within it to the ground. you don't think about it when you gotta do something like that. You're not really allowed, you know. I remember didn't really get to me, you know. Nothing except the smell. You know, when you burn a person, it puts off an awful fucking stink. It's sour and sweet. Smells like bad pork. Top of that, got some sort of dirt smell. You're not going to the butcher for barbecue. You're toasting everything. Whole buffalo. But yeah. Wife knew but tried not to care. Son, he fucking hates me. I haven't talked to him in a little over 9 years, 10 years now. He left before I even left the purifiers. Can't talk to her. She's safer that way. But you know what changed it? I was out on a mission outside of town, about normal. Torching some pissant camp, 30, maybe 40 people, light work. Went to a house, burned it down. Couple adults come through, you know, screaming, whatever. You tune it out. But then a kid comes out. He, wasn't like the other ones, you know? All of them always screaming or crying. This one kind of stared, you know? Just kind of like looked dead ahead and just almost seemed resigned to it, you know? Couldn't tell if it was shell shock or he knew what was happening. And about that point, I started regaining my sense of smell. And, buddy of mine looks at him and goes, "Hey, betcha I can pace the kids. Let's say 5 points, right?" Lowers a fucking shotgun, and before I know it, his mech's on the ground. He's dead. I've got this kid in my cockpit, and I'm out.
No.
Now, I don't know if that was something atoning for what happened, or coming to my senses, or what the hell it was. But I don't do that no more. Made a promise to myself. And though he probably don't remember it, I promised Mur I wouldn't do that. And he just kind of sits there and he puts his hands in his head. Or his head in his hands. Kind of rubs his face and goes, I don't particularly know where to go from here, but Indiana, I'm 56 years old. I'm probably gonna die of natural causes at this point. You know?
Does that
I don't know
scare
what
you?
I've done with my life.
Does it scare you? She's kind of pulled herself into a sitting position at this point on the ground, just watching.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know if scared is the right word, or I don't know what comes after, but whatever it is, something tells me that there's some folks who aren't going to be too happy, and be honest with you, they're probably right.
How do you deal with it? The guilt.
And you just put one foot in front of the other. That's about every day. Of course, walking's got a little bit harder lately.
Every step's a little bit heavier, I know.
Kinda, um, kinda like stands up, says, "You got a life ahead of you. You were reared into this. Whatever you take, just remember, you're gonna be alright. Sounds bullshit, but got a decent head on your shoulders."
She pulls herself up off the ground and gives you a hug. It's kind of like, the ant, an ant trying to hug a mountain, but
Yeah.
she gives you a hug and says, "We forgive you."
Yeah, and Frank for a second, like, does that awkward thing where he, like, is just standing there while he's being hugged, but then you say, like, "We forgive you," and Frank, like, slowly takes you in a hug, and you feel just, like, a single, like, sob, and then he kind of, like, sniffs and kind of steps back, says, "To the captain." And he kind of looks at you with, like, this wry smile and says, like, "Tell anyone about anything I said, I'll have to kill you."
She just zip.
Oh.
Yeah, and he walks off towards the captain's office.
We can't hear your clapping, but we see it, James.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what are you doing right now, Howler?
What's Howler doing? He's probably sleeping off the drunk he got with Sin. Because he really hadn't eaten until, like, after that point. I mean, some people didn't come out of their rooms at all. Some people just didn't eat anything. So, let's see, after that, he still has people looking up stuff. So he, was it Greasy he talked to? No, it was Mandy. What's her face? Very angry engineer lady.
Yeah, Mandy Laughlin,
Yep.
Chief Engineer Laughlin. She don't let no one call her Mandy, not even you guys.
Yeah, he's gonna go see her and see if she knows found out anything else about that whole skirmish in, where's my brain? Death Valley. Because she was sort of looking into it. Did I also go see Greasy about that?
I think you did very briefly because Greasy was in the California Republic Army.
That must have been why. Yeah, that. Because, Kong kind of acting weird. But I think he gets it now. Still, finding out where he comes from, key to working with him more effectively later on.
Right. And you probably head down to the mech bay. Time gets fucked up when you drink.
Mm-hmm.
You thought you went to bed at a reasonable time. You thought you were waking up at a good time, and you did. Way too early. Mech bay's pretty much empty. You see the Carcardonts have actually been booted up just so that they can walk around a little bit, make sure that they don't... you got a few operators watching them, making sure their little spider crab legs aren't screwed up, especially being at sea so long. Even with the ship sealed up like it is, salt air has a way of getting in and messing with electronics and messing with metals. And you see Mandy. She's actually polishing up Sala's shield. And I'm talking about polishing it until she can see her and her frizzy head in it. And she's humming a little tune to herself. It's Yellow Rose of Texas.
Of course. So, how's it going, Mandy? Looks like you're doing a damn good job on that shield. Couldn't trust it to the regular grease monkeys.
She jolts in surprise. She's been kind of like off in her own little world. She gives you a real long, hard look, calling her Mandy. She waves her hand. It's too early to yell. Nah, them ingrates is up in bed still for... Oh, I'm gonna give them another half a bell, and if they ain't down here by then, I'm gonna go up there with pots and pans and start clanging. And if that don't go over well, I'm gonna start kicking indoors with pots and pans and start banging.
I would expect nothing less. Did you find out anything more about, Kong's past and the battle in Death Valley?
I found out what I could, and there ain't a whole lot there, but I did manage, with some help from Ryota, who I don't know how he gets a hold of these things. I'm pretty sure that they are all criminal, but I was able to get a hold of some of these documents with less of the black ink. Still mostly covered in black ink. I mean, whew! You could write a novel with all the things that ain't there no more. It says here there were 4 of them. 4 go in, not a one come out. But it says here that the work of an NHP following orders led to them annihilating an entire refuel depot along with most of the mechanized division that had decided it was going to set up shop, take on water, take on highly combustible radioactive elements that power a mech's core.
Did the NHP get named in that file, or is that blacked out too?
It's just a serial number. Them government types ain't much to give non-human persons personhood. That includes names.
Yeah. Now, from what I remember, was the last name Greg in there?
With 2 G's at the end?
Yep.
Yeah. KIA. Cause of death, immolation.
Yeah, okay. That was Kong's pilot, it seems. From what I can remember of what he said. I kind of drowned my problems last night.
Sounds like that's getting to be a common thing on this place. I'm gonna have to start doing it too, just so I don't feel left out.
When you do, first round's on me.
Oh, trust me. There's enough people what on this place owe me favors. I think I could drink myself stupid for every day until the sun burns out, and I wouldn't have to pay 1 chev.
Probably. You do a shitload of work here.
I do a shitload of work, and I make sure to overlook people's incompetence in exchange for favors, she says with a big smile.
Thanks for the news. Really don't like Owen Ryota, but I guess I'm gonna have to give him something for helping you. Don't worry about it.
You don't need to give him nothing. He just spend it all gambling, getting drunk and gambling to get drunk.
Yeah, well, I've got to get my winnings from somewhere. If I don't give it back to him, he'll never have it to give me.
Well, there you go. You can play your magic-y game with him.
Yeah, he always seems to get the best cards. Still don't know where he got that damn Black Lotus.
I heard tell that he's part of some long, storied Yakuza clan. Although I heard it from him, so I don't know if that's worth a damn. Families in Sakura Solutions. Shareholders. That's probably where he got it. All sorts of blood money and mech money.
And mech blood money.
Ayo!
And bloody mech money.
Thanks for the information. I'll figure out something to do with it that's constructive and helpful.
You get on that. I'm gonna try and get some peace and quiet with these here four lovelies before I have to deal with the fleshies.
Yep. Sometimes the human persons are a bit of a problem, huh?
You know, she smiles and she pats Sala on the shield and says, "Say what we want about these things. 100+ ton killing machines, armed to the teeth. Before these things were even around, something this heavily armed would probably be a small country. But you know what? They don't talk back. And they listen. More than I can say for anyone I work with."
Yeah, that's true. So, you carry on, Laughlin. Doing a great job.
She
Yeah.
nods and gives you a little salute.
He'll head out. Let's see, where'd he go now? Probably Frank's room, which is now like not having a Frank in it.
You know, you get here the perfect time in order to be fucking awkward for everybody. You're there and they're just having a good old hug out.
And then you hear, no, if you hear it, then you hear,
Yeah, you hear.
"You tell anyone anything that I just said, I'll have to kill you."
You walk in right at that moment.
Yeah.
Insert comedy laugh track.
Woo-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha-ha.
So what's
Oh,
going on
Yakshas.
here?
Yakshas is filmed in front of a live Twitch audience.
Yeah. Frank says, Frank backs away from the hug, you know, and is like, and he says,
You're not
would you believe me if I said it was a romantic encounter?
He looks at Indiana to see her, to gauge her face at that.
She shoots him a sideways look and goes, "You're up early. Would have thought you would still be sleeping it off like sin."
Well, sometimes your body tricks you into thinking it's later than it is, and then you can't go back to sleep. Yeah. Wait till you see Sala. Laughlin's shining her up real good
Why would she?
because she's detail oriented.
Understatement of the century.
I suppose I can't argue with that. We were just headed up to, or I was just headed to the mech bay myself. Because I don't remember if you wanted her to come with you, Frank.
No. Frank was gonna head to the captain, kinda on his
By
own.
himself, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe... What is that card game you play, Howler?
It's called Magic the Gathering. It's the best collectible trading card left on Earth.
You know, I used to play Pokemon. No. You used to play
God.
Pokemon? Is that similar? No.
At least it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! The only thing
Yu-Gi-Oh!
complicated about that game is its ban list.
Ah.
Right. Maybe you could show me something over breakfast.
Sure, that works. Probably should eat something.
And Frank, when you should meet up with us later.
Kinda nods and says, I'll try.
You know Francois misses you. She has said nothing but good things about you since the past 2
Yeah.
days. She's, where is my poor Frank? Frank must be getting so thin. Frank needs...
And you do notice that Frank's like beer gut, while not gone, is definitely diminished.
It's only an 8-pack, not a 12-pack.
Right, exactly.
So, you must hurry and... You must hurry after everything and, well, meet with her and then come talk to us, yes?
Kind of nods and says, "All right."
Yeah, and with that, she kind of... Well, Howler, I guess I'll meet you at breakfast.
You'll probably get there when I'm at seconds.
I don't know what you mean. This ship isn't that confusing.
You have no idea how fast I eat.
At the mention of
she just
someone
didn't-
saying that
Go
the
ahead.
ship is confusing, there's like all these panels every now and then will display like just readouts, duty logs, things like that.
Yeah.
And it glows a bright orange as you see Methuselah's MCP face appear and is like, if anyone is requiring assistance in navigating the Calliope, I have detailed maps that I am able to provide directly to your company-issued PDA.
Mine
God.
wasn't company issued. I had to pay for it. Does that count?
Company-issued does not mean company-compensated.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, at that point, Frank kind of looks and goes, "Boozy, tell the captain I'm heading up."
There's like a moment where the eyes seem to like widen and he's like, it has been done. I will disengage from this terminal. Have a
Oh.
good rest of your duty hours.
Shit, I just realized something. I'm going to be a little late to breakfast, Howler. I think I have a checkup with Mer.
Okay. That's important shit. I'll see you whenever you show up.
Mm-hmm.
He jabs a thumb at the screen. You know, if he was a human, I'd swear I just saw a delight response at the minute thought that he could do something useful. I mean, his eyes. It's like they dilated. It's weird.
Yeah. And Frank's like, ghost in the machine, yada yada yada. And he's like,
Applying human characteristics to non-humans. Interesting.
yeah,
Oh, you guys, you would be making him so upset. You guys have noticed that, especially any chance he can get, Methuselah likes to talk about how he's a shackled NHP,
yeah,
and that's a good thing.
yeah.
He espouses the virtues of NHPs being shackled to the point where you're kind of like, someone's got slave mentality.
Yeah,
And
no.
Stockholm
Frank,
Syndrome.
Hey!
We got a
Speaking of
sin.
NHPs,
hey, Sin.
you just missed some fucking killer shit.
Sorry.
It's okay, man.
No,
No,
right
no,
back to your
sorry.
beer.
I just woke up.
You're good, man.
Welcome to the land of awake. It's a
Welcome
good
to the
time.
land of the living. We all don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Hotel
From now on, we
California?
will be. Well, I think we'll be moving our time back a little bit too. So
Yep.
you can actually.
For those
sleep.
of you who are like,
Of course.
wow, these guys are starting early, even by Cosmos time, we're fixing that.
Thank God we're fixing that.
And for those of you who are like, wow, now I can watch from overseas, get off my stream.
how far of an adjustment?
An
just
hour.
live stream.
So we would be starting now instead of an hour ago.
Alright,
Does that help you at all?
it's gonna be the same. I'll be honest, it's no worries. I'll
Oh.
get used to the schedule. This is my
When do
this
you
is
get
my
off?
midnight. 7:30.
Okay, yeah, that's what I would have figured.
You're good. You're good. I actually woke up to my alarms and then I was like, I swear I remember trying to get up, and then next thing I know, I woke up again and it was 12:30.
You're good.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
That being
we're glad you're here.
yeah, me too.
Frank threatened to kill Indiana.
In a playful, jovial way, like
In a
every
very-
good father.
But entirely serious at the same time.
Yeah,
Like every good father.
It was in a like every good father, Christ. Yeah, it was very they had just had a hug, and then Frank was trying to emotionally distance himself from like the single like little cry that he had, and was just like, "If you tell anybody about this, I'll kill you," like sort of thing.
And then
So
Howler
Indiana,
walked in.
Frank,
And then
are you
Howler
friends?
walked in off of stage right, and everyone laughed.
What did you say, Daniel?
So Frank and Indiana are gonna be friends.
I hope.
Friendship blossoms on the battlefield.
We still have to
Do you
go.
think that love can blossom on a battlefield?
God, how
No, but I
close
think
are
a
we to New
fungus can.
Orleans? I need to get off this ship.
Well, speaking of that, we're gonna cut with Frank as he goes up to the captain's court, or not the captain's court. Ho ho ho! We're just going to the captain's quarters. No, up to the bridge. And you go up there, and it's early morning, so there's not a whole lot of duty officers doing a lot. There's like one very bored-looking flag officer watching, like being a bit of a prick as he's like looking over the con officer's shoulder.
That man
Like-
is playing Galaga and thought we wouldn't notice.
Like, and the con officer is just tired and trying to keep the Calliope going in a straight line against the waves.
Mm-hmm.
But you see the captain's looking at the main kind of bubble of viewports. And
Yeah.
you see a couple Tomcat jets, two of them in sync, flying way. They're obviously circling pretty high up,
Mm.
and she's just watching them. Her arms behind her back, that awkward way she has to hold her. She can't fold her arms behind her back. She kind of has to hold the other one.
Mm.
And she's like, she hears the door open and hears you walk in. It's like, these assholes have been circling us in pairs for 3 hours.
Radio contact.
Welcome back to the land of the living, Frank.
Yeah, does she react to the fact that Frank is now bald and does not have a beard?
Oh my god.
There is this thing where she's like, welcome back to the friend of the I'm not so certain the land of the living anymore.
Yeah, and he's like, felt like I needed a change.
I thought you'd lost a bet.
Kinda looks at her, and with like this look that's a little bit iffy, he kind of goes like, still trying to figure that one out myself.
She does give you this smile that's like, it's clear she's just trying to bring some levity.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she tries to point at the jets and is like, and then looks at everyone on the bridge and they're like,
Wait, you cut out for me?
it's like she cut off because she started pointing
With her missing finger.
the arm
With
she
missing
doesn't
finger.
have.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
And then everyone was like, and then she like looked around and everyone's like, oh, we didn't see that.
Yeah.
I bet the bridge crew is going to be so happy when she has her bionic arm. Be like, thank God she has an arm now. We don't have to pretend we don't see things.
Or terrified.
That or they're gonna be like, she literally has an iron fist now.
Yeah. No, Frank probably is like, smooth.
I don't understand why they're wasting all this fuel just to circle us. Is this some sort of game?
Designations, radio call-ins, anything like that?
Nothing. They're keeping themselves turned towards us so that we can clearly see that they're Confederate fighters.
Hmm.
Just watching their airspace, I suppose.
Well, we are in 100,000-ton vehicle that carries military personnel and mechs, so, do you blame him?
It just seems like a waste in order to do some posturing. I'm not sure if you're aware of our itinerary, but we'll be arriving in New Orleans by noon.
Nods and goes, well, good. Whenever we land, we'll have to make radio comm link. Probably satellite.
Something of the sort. It's strange. It's not part of the Confederacy. New Orleans is an independent city-state. Maybe that's why they're so anxious about the waters around it.
He's like, truth be told, I wasn't talking to these fighters.
She does take a deep breath and nods and is like, I've been up pretty much ever since that mission, trying to think of how best to word it.
Frank kind of pauses for a second and says, about the same. And at this point, he's just like looking out the window, you know? He's being very dramatic boy, looking out the window instead of talking to the captain's face.
I'm not sure what sort of justice a company can seek, but I'll be frank with you. I will be frank with you, Frank.
I'll be Domingo with you, Frank.
Yeah.
Those were Black Ops fighters that you encountered. Anyone that can afford to have Black Ops fighters has something to hide.
Doesn't matter what they were hiding. There were people who weren't asking for it there.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just worried that what retribution could they seek?
Frank turns around and goes, whatever they damn please. Short of killing us, we'll take it.
I suppose we don't have many other options. I'll get a hold of that as soon as I'm shore-bound.
Yeah, and he says, got a request for you, Captain.
Go ahead.
Contingent on part of me being a part of this crew, I request to speak to the people myself.
She does turn around at that and looks perplexed, almost. But she seems waiting for you to explain yourself.
I was the one essentially running the op at this point. I'm gonna be the one who talks to him and explains what happened. And she gets that look in Frank's eye that she's probably only seen one other time when she fished his ass out of the fucking snow, right? Like that look of like, there is no budge, you know?
She watches him for a long time, hawkishly trying to look him over for any possible out of it. Not in the sense of like she's trying to talk him out of it, but she's like, what's your angle?
And he kind of sighs and goes, angle? Couldn't tell you. Kind of lights another cigarette. He's like, but it's the right thing.
I'm not sure how I feel about this, Frank, one who cares about the right thing. But I'm not about to deny him an offer.
Yeah. Kind of takes a puff and goes, right. Other thing? I need Murr to be under extra security nowadays. I know he's under the blossom of whatever the security team is, but not gonna be here for him all the time.
You know that he gets our best treatment. He's our chief medical officer.
Sure. Just reinforcing.
Well, on the topic of reinforcing, I will leave you to put your words together. I'm not brave enough for corporate politics.
Frank probably chuckles at that and goes, "You, me neither, sister." And walks out of the room.
Even I
Why
don't
do
mess
I
with
just
the
feel like
IRS.
she's an older, more jaded Ewan McGregor?
Yeah.
With a wig.
Yeah.
With a wig.
Still has the beard.
Yeah.
No one talks
No,
about
that's-
it.
No one
That's
talks about the
Kovar.
beard. We don't talk about it
Right.
so much that the DM didn't even mention it until just now.
God.
Well, now that he's here, Sin. Jesus Christ, you have a hangover.
I feel like it.
And I'd like to say, not to put a finer point on it, but you start thinking back to, oh God, where did I go wrong last night? And then you remember,
Where did I go right?
stealing's a sin. Smiley face.
Oh yeah. He's sitting there, and he's just he's probably made himself like a cup of coffee, and is carrying it around in a very familiar thermos.
That too? He stole that too?
That's what he transferred him in. Remember, he transferred Sin.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Or-
that he kind of had like the Jurassic Park thing going on.
Yeah.
This guy's stealing an NHP. Nobody cares.
So yeah, and he was like walking through the halls, yawning, looking for Indiana. Probably goes through her room first.
I think he'd catch her on the way to Mers.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
you're on the crew deck.
Also, just for our specific viewers, you know who you are. Fine. It's right here.
What?
Are you happy now?
Got him.
Sorry.
He's the bear.
He's the bear.
Yeah, are you happy now? I'm not ignoring you anymore. Are you happy now? Sorry. Back
Is that
to
a
game.
bondage bear?
What?
Why do I
No.
feel like this is aimed towards Chris?
It's Pat the Patriot the teddy bear.
Oh, okay.
Why do I feel this is directed at Chris?
No, this one's actually directed towards the middle brother.
But
Anyways.
yeah, you two both run into each other, waiting for one of the elevators on the crew deck.
How are you today?
That hurts. Real bad.
Just your head and not your conscience?
Nah, just the head.
Don't you know stealing is a sin?
Yeah.
With a wry smile. Seriously, how much trouble are we in?
We should probably go talk to the captain. You know more about this right now than I do.
Oh, no! Don't make me talk to the captain. I did that yesterday.
At least she wasn't mad yesterday, but now she's gonna hear, "Hey, this international terrorist group is after us."
But she kind of should have expected that from the start.
Yeah, but now it's two. Now there's
Actually-
two international terrorist groups you guys are dealing with.
Oh, I was about. Wait, you don't count Happy as a terrorist group?
No, they're worse. They're a company.
Okay, and what about the Knights of the Ochre Blade? Those aren't terrorists?
No, they're even worse. They're a military company.
They're fanatics.
So, all right. He looks and.
And then he pauses for a
All
moment.
right.
looks
Alright.
around, reaches into his pocket, pulls out his phone, holds for a moment. He held it up like he was gonna smash it. And it's like, right, we need to show the captain before I smash it.
You can just pull out the SIM card. The phone's a phone.
Right. And, like tucks the thermos under his arm as he like pops open the bag, and starts like sliding out the SIM card, and puts the back back on, holds the SIM card,
How many
Pops in
messages
his mouth.
did he have? Wait, did
He
you
just
just eat
pop
the
the SIM card in his mouth and start chewing it. Yes.
He just eats the fucking SIM card.
All right. Well, that's
All right,
fun.
ladies. That's a wrap.
Jesus Christ.
That's
No,
a
he's
wrap.
just
I'll
chewing
see
it.
you-
He's just chewing it like gum.
That's
God,
a wrap.
my-
We'll,
I love that.
we'll
Jesus.
we'll see you
Fuck.
here next week, folks. Bye bye.
I feel like I should be making you roll something, but there's nothing here.
It's just plastic and small bits of metal.
Yeah,
Not even like
but
sharp metal.
And
It's very, very
circuitry.
thin.
do I
Yeah,
need to make like a revulsion check or something?
He probably looks to you after a second and goes, "I'm getting a message," and then walks off.
By the
Wait,
way, it was
I thought we were going to go talk to the
384.
captain.
384.
384 unread messages, and they were from at least 56 different burner phone numbers.
He starts walking towards the bridge with. Yeah, that's why he's like, "I'm getting a message."
I thought I was going to
Yeah,
see. I guess I'm not going to see Mur. Okay.
Yet.
Follows you. Follows you to the fucking bridge.
Woo!
Right as Frank's leaving, I'm sure, because we're just like a Swiss watch today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Frank, you're leaving. These two come out. Since June on something.
Yeah,
Um,
Frank just
and-
nods with a cig in his mouth, and
then you see
Sin, you
in a
see
gas-
Frank is. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you see in aghast Indiana, just kind of like that. What the fuck? Anyways,
Yeah, you just see that Frank is completely bald with no beard, and he nods at you with a cig in his mouth.
Well, someone's got some issues right now. Hi, Frank.
Yeah, Frank's like, hey, you got another piece of gum?
He takes the SIM card out of his mouth.
Frank looks at it, looks
He's
at
like,
you with the
"I got
most
this."
dead. Yeah, he's like, looks at you, looks at the SIM card, goes, "Oh, sorry, I don't do ABC," and then just like walks off.
I'm glad that Frank's back because Jesus Christ, that hit right. God, you guys are fucking killing it today in all the best and worst ways.
all right.
Woo! So, Captain's just watching. You see the two Tomcats come by on another
Consider-
pass.
Confederation. That probably snaps her out of it. All right, Confederation Tomcats, 4th Air Wing, land-based. We're near Louisiana.
She nods. They've been here since daybreak.
They must be
Should we tell them
fresh.
they
They
can-
haven't dropped their. Wait, since daybreak? They haven't dropped their drop tanks.
Different wing. They've been coming non-stop. One leaves, another comes.
Radio silence.
Complete radio silence, though they always move in such a way to where they have their flags and their numbers turned towards us.
Are we sure it's radio silence?
I don't trust Ryota, but I also have enough confidence into him where he wouldn't cause an international incident.
Just checking. Can we speak with you in your office?
She slowly looks between the two of you with this look that's like... Have you ever looked at... It's like a mom who knows you're about to be like, "Mom, I got sick last night."
We're in so much trouble!
She's... You see that she's already formulating how best she's going to get mad.
She's
But-
just like Wait a second. You're 3 guys in a shed making rifles for the UK military. Fuck!
No, not the L96.
But then she like waves off towards her office with an exasperated look.
They.
Yeah.
Yep. Enter.
Sin's walking, he's popped open the top of the coffee and he's pulled out like this bottle of fucking Kahlua.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
He
Hair
pours
of the
just
dog.
Hair of the
a little
dog.
bit in there and then closes it. He's like, I'm gonna need this.
Ugh.
Yeah, by the time you get to the captain's office, she's uncorked like a glass of cognac and is pouring herself a triple shot.
This is weird. Frank's like the only one not drinking.
Yeah, but this is because she needs to drink to solve her trauma first. Then she won't drink anymore.
It runs into nuclear fusion.
But,
The SIM card wouldn't run on nuclear fusion. The phone would.
No,
No,
the drinking. It runs on nuclear. Wait.
no,
Oh, never mind.
It runs on
Shit.
nuclear fusion. It's why she can complain about
Yeah.
fuel.
Oh,
Is,
yeah.
Okay.
I made
The
a comment.
Calliope only needs to be refueled once every like quarter century.
It just made me laugh.
Or
She's
yeah,
like,
maybe-
we're the woman driving the vehicle the size of Manhattan's concerned about fuel. Like, come on.
Well, she's just like, why the fuck are they doing this when they could just like get a fucking like boat plane instead of sending out military jets unless
Or-
they're trying to wave their dicks around.
Or better yet, a boat.
I think they're probably
Literally
like,
a
if they send a boat, maybe the bigger boat will just eat the smaller boat.
I thought you were saying that alcoholism runs in the nuclear
Oh.
family. And I was like,
I
"We're a
mean, you
nuclear
could say that
family."
you guys are a family and you're in a thing that's powered by nuclear engines, so.
We call our mom.
Lois,
All right.
it's a pun. But,
All right. We're just gonna start this conversation. I don't know how, but maybe
Oh,
snaps
don't
out
worry.
of it and
Sin's
goes,
got you.
So, Sin came to me last night,
Uh-huh.
drunk. Kind of looks over at him.
Tilts the drink back.
Do you want to show
Hey,
her,
I
or
didn't-
should I tell her first?
I didn't destroy no library bot this time.
This
Well,
time.
at all. That wasn't me. And he like just kind of pulls out the phone and waves it in the air at her a little bit. Give her a moment to get a hand free, because you know she's only got one.
She sets down the drink with a very hard clink on the hardwood of her desk
And
and
just
then
kind of
holds it out like a teacher demanding your phone.
just slaps it down in her hand. We're like, looks like Komet found my phone.
They know where we're going.
She's like, and then you say commit, she's like,
I mean, we can always see if we can get a copy of. Wow, drawing a blank all of a sudden. I'm still waking
think
up.
they're going to be in-
What's my NHP's name?
set.
Set. I was like, we could see if Set can clone himself into the virus he was supposed to be and send him back and destroy everything they have. But that's a lot of work, and I don't know that kind of stuff. But well, the thing we feared would happen happened, and now we get to have some fun. Because
Do you
these
think
people
they know
ain't
we're going
innocent.
to New Orleans specifically? They just said Louisiana.
Where else will we be going?
There are other
point.
cities in Louisiana. Just like
Ones where something the size of the Calliope can make easy birth.
there's a
Which one?
Springfield, Indiana, isn't there? Wait, sorry,
If it
we're
ain't
talking
flooded.
about Louisiana. There's a Springfield, Louisiana, right? What there used to be.
Probably
She's
underwater.
just. You can tell she's doing the like, find your happy place like Shauna told you. Don't get mad. Don't kill them. You
Why do
really
you
want
think
to
I'm
kill
trying
them.
to change the subject? Why do you think I'm trying to change the subject?
And she, with trembling hand, holds back out the phone towards you, saying,
He grabs it, and then smashes it on the ground. There.
I'm not compensating you for a new phone.
That's fine.
Now,
I'll just tank Frank because when he's not looking.
now, we have 2 international terrorist groups gunning for us, or at least aware of us in some way.
Don't forget the Merc Company
Hey, we get
and
one
the
more.
corporation.
We get a hat trick.
She looks at Sin with this look that's like, I'm going to kill you.
Trying his best to lighten the mood, not working out for him.
I feel
He
like
just
a
takes
mother.
a long sip of his coffee.
I feel like a mother in a Target that has to keep telling their child no. And at this point, I'm wondering where I went wrong.
Indiana's raising her hand.
Apparently, Indiana's where you went wrong.
I have a question.
She just points at you, Sin, finger trembling. But then, yes, Indiana.
What's a target?
Anyway,
I'll tell you later.
are we certain that this is the same cell of command? And this isn't some sort of, like, chain letter that's gone too far?
Well,
Do you want to take that risk?
the fact that they only sent to me from however many different numbers using my name as in a reference stealing, I'm 99% sure that this is directed towards me,
They capitalized sin.
and no one else here got it.
She's taking her deep breaths. She's counting to 10.
Captain, the
Looking
only
for your
reason I'm...
HP. Correct. Because you
Well.
stole... Are you sure they're also not looking for the military hardware you also stole alongside? Are you sure they're not looking for your thermos along with it? How many
Wait.
things did you take with you when you left?
Actually, it was only a thermos and set. Remember, I had to
Oh,
build and because
You had to take
I had
mech,
to build
too.
set.
Yeah, I thought you
Uh,
took Legion, or at least like a frame of Legion.
No, because we'd have to like figure something out for that. Because remember, I was inside the underground bunker, and I just put them into
yeah.
my coffee, and we walked out.
Okay,
And I built
okay.
Legion using sets instructions here on the Calliope is where I ended up
Okay.
building, or somewhere else. So yeah, it was just
just
set.
intellectual property theft. Okay.
Yeah.
And the thermos.
Can't now hear me out. It's not stealing when the when the person that comes with you wants to go.
I agree with you. However, the very armed, very dangerous, scary men do not.
I suppose.
Watching the Tomcat. No, oh damn it, we're not in the
Yeah.
on the bridge anymore. No, maybe Indiana's pretending to watch the pretending to
Tomcat
watch
circle.
the Tomcats. She's thinking, all right, so they were in that orbit position. It takes them roughly this long. All right, so they're gonna be like right here, and they're there, and now they'd be there, and then.
Set. Sin, I need you to start discussing with Set how you're going to get this heat off of us, because right now I frankly can't afford any more mishaps.
Oh, I'm gonna turn Set into the greatest virus I've ever seen.
Turn him into a virus, turn him into a bomb, turn him into a pet poodle for all I care. Just get them off my back. Oh, please don't
Just
actually
give
suggest
Sin-
that.
You
Hey,
literally
no,
just gave
Captain-
Sin the best idea. Thank you.
Captain, could
Yes.
could we discuss one of our earlier discussions here with Sin? It could be useful finding our ping.
You want to set loose within the Calliope's communications?
Well, Ryota's not finding it.
He does get bored pretty easily.
Methuselah will not be happy, but
Well, Methuselah is not finding it either. If Methuselah were better at their job, they would have found it by now.
I heard
Sounds
that.
like we need a fresh set of eyes on this.
on the operant on the condition that Set is going to remove themselves from the ship, because as an AI that was constructed by command with the purpose of being some sort of dangerous computer virus, I don't want them to get a hold of him remotely, directly, or any other way, turning him against us and him to be inside the Calliope's net.
Of course, that's only logical. Should we explain what's going on?
He's
Do
just
I-
been staring at you like confused.
So,
We
it came up...
believe.
Hmm?
Yeah, we believe that we may have a rat on board.
Big one. Probably walks
That
on
makes
two
sense.
legs. Got opposable thumbs. That kind of rat.
Working for Kairos.
Do you remember that AM transmission we picked up all the way back in Colombia? Not Colombia, fuck.
Guatemala.
Yeah, Guatemala.
Honda.
That, you know, the whole radio days and dates and places thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, when we left Guatemala all the way here to the Caribbean, it hasn't gotten any weaker. And it's an AM transmission.
Hmm.
Right, so you're thinking someone on the ship is outputting that?
Correct. And we are the unwitting harbingers carrying a parasite, letting all of Kairos know what's happening on whatever. What's happening, where it's happening, when it's happening.
Okay. Interesting. Now, have we thought about, just, I'm trying to think of how to phrase that without using an accent already. Transmitting something else on that same frequency to interrupt that transmission?
Is that possible, Captain?
I suppose it is.
Garble the transmission?
I mean,
Depends
Frank
on
has
if anyone's listening.
Frank has a wonderful musical library. We could just blare that over the AM radios, and people just think it's a radio station.
I think we just blare Nyan Cat over that same frequency, the 24-hour version.
Anything is as good as anything else.
You know, I played this game once upon a time. When I say once upon a time, I mean like 2 weeks ago. It's called, what is it? Density? No, Destiny.
Density.
Just, yeah,
That wouldn't have come out yet.
Where this is the worst timeline, it still exists.
Yeah, right?
Not even a fucking cataclysm can stop Bungie's bad decisions.
If you'll allow. There was
Whether or not we wanted to, you could say that you guys have stepped into a war with Kairos.
on Mars. Shit, we need to launch the fucking Calliope into space. Let's go.
Everything
That's
was
the
good
one
on
place that capitalism hasn't reached yet.
Space! Except
Oh.
it did, because America went to the moon. So, dab on the commies, am I right?
Well,
Huh.
why did we go to the moon if Russia, not Russia, but the USSR no longer existed by that point?
To tell the Europeans to go fuck themselves.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Ah, look, Frenchies, we're up here, not you. Although, according to science, when you actually go up to the moon, because of the sun's radiation, it's actually bleached the flag. and now it's completely white, which leads historians to believe that either the Confederates were the first to land on the moon or the French.
Fucking hell.
Christ.
Fucking hell.
I love it, but I hate it.
And all of a sudden, all our viewership in the South just was like, hell, I'm leaving.
Oui,
As
oui, us too.
As they kick,
We-
their-
we-
they kick the gerbil off of its training wheels in order to turn off
Now,
the
I would
internet.
like you to remember that there is another country that may be fitting that mark too.
Two-time World War losers!
Oh! Words. All right, now the French hate us, the Germans hate us, and the South hates us.
Listen, the British should hate us too. We kicked their ass in World War One and World War Two. We'll fuck their shit up.
We've been kicking their ass since 1776.
I mean, there was that time they burned down the White House, but then a tornado happened and like wiped out half their army. So even God hates the British.
God. All right, so I get
Okay.
before we continue pissing off the rest of the world.
Hey, India!
Hey,
Fuck
hey,
you.
stop it! No, bad.
No,
Stop
no.
it! I will
Don't
take
piss
us
off a billion
offline.
people.
Bad.
Do we get to talk about Israel yet?
No, stop it! No, bad. Stop it!
Bad Goyim. Bad
All
Goyim.
right. So now that we've been shadow banned on Twitch, all right.
Yes. She agreed that that's possibly a thing to do. Might drown out the transmission. Might piss off whoever's listening to it.
Okay. Well, angry people tend to make mistakes, so let's do it.
Exactly. Maybe that's why you guys keep getting into troubles, because you keep making the captain really angry.
Well,
All right. You've pissed me off. Here's a job.
Here's a job.
Yes, it's mandatory stealth. Good luck with that.
Yeah, you piss the
Frank.
DM off, and all of a sudden they go, stealth's not optional.
Stealth is not an option. We reset the cutscene to the very fucking beginning every
Yeah.
time you fail.
Unskippable cutscene every time you guys fail. I'm like, all right, be back here next week. We're going to completely redo this session. I'm going to watch through it. I'm going to reread every line I said exactly the same way. And no, we're not skipping. That'd be the most passive-aggressive
hold
fucking
on.
thing to do.
Does that mean I have to do my Frank speech from the beginning, word for word, every time?
Only if you guys fail the stealth portion. Oh, I actually kind of like that idea. You're doing like a game that's like supposed to be like a game, and so you put unskippable cutscenes in your RPG.
it's just the DM talking about the scene for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what.
And
that
if
is.
we fail, he pulls out the piece of paper and starts reading from it again, describing the scene for 30 minutes.
Don't think I wouldn't. That's right up my alley of dumb memery bullshit.
It really is.
It really do be that way.
I like that idea. I'm gonna have to do that sometime. Not on the channel, because I think that we'd get banned because everyone would hate it and report us for harmful content.
Mm-hmm. I'd
Right,
report us for
so-
harmful content. Anyway,
Alright, so now that we've discussed that, I think kind of looking at Sin. First off, how does your stomach feel eating a SIM card?
He did what?
He didn't eat it, he just chewed on it. He just pulls it out of his
Figure.
mouth.
Because
And it's just like, I haven't eaten it, I've just been chewing on it.
Captain, permission to go drink something?
He pulls out his Kahlua.
Both of you,
Yep.
just get out of my office. Like, she slaps her hand on the fucking button on her desk, the door opens, she's just like, get out! Get
Just
out
kinda
before I have
looks
to get
around
the broom
For a
to push
trash
you out."
can. Just drops the SIM card into the trash can and leaves.
God, what a fucking... We've gone from, like, deep shit to all of a sudden we're like, all right, let's put the clown hair on. Let's get the nose.
All right. Continue.
That's how you know it's a James game.
Let's go talk to Mur.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've given myself a headache by coughing.
And don't worry, we'll get to Howler soon. But
No
this is
problem.
probably our last scene before we actually get to Nolans. You go up to the not crew deck, the like main deck where all the work shit is, and you go to the infirmary, the med bay, whatever you want to call it. I forget what the proper term on a ship is for. Is it sick bay? Or do they use some other wacky word for it?
Oh, I don't remember, man.
The Boo Boo Bay.
Hey, boat people, quit making up words for rooms.
Yikes.
Just go up to the mizzenmast. But,
Why is it missing? I can see it right there.
The sick bay.
okay, Computer King, you're kicked. You're banned. You're banned. But,
It's called a sick bay. Let's continue.
yeah, because it's sick, yo. But,
You know?
you go in there, and Mur's like at his desk, and there's no one really there. It's early in the morning. No one's done anything stupid yet. Like, he doesn't even have his nurses or the other doctors there. It's just him. He looks sick. Like, he's got like some over-the-counter shit on his desk to like try and keep himself from like being physically ill, but like he's always pale, but now he's like deathly pale, like white as a sheet. He's got the sunken in eyes, like he hasn't been sleeping.
No.
You walk in the door and he jolts and tries to look busy.
Mur, it's fine. I have good news.
Stares at you expectantly.
Frank is out of his room.
That's good. He must have gotten hungry or thirsty.
I think he's going to be okay.
It's a
Him and I
big
had a
weight
talk.
off my shoulders. That's good.
You should
And-
make time to find him later today. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he's like nods, and then he kind of like holds back a retch for a moment. He's like, "Is there something I can do for you?"
It's just me here, right?
Yeah, it's just the two of you.
Okay. Sitting down, probably takes a chair, turns it backwards, sitting on it. Can we have some client confidentiality here for a moment?
He reaches over and kind of fumbles with the door for a second before he manages to hit the button on the pad that locks the door.
I've been asked to keep an eye on you.
Like, and he like motions towards, even though it's only been less than like a week since he had the growths removed from his neck, there's more that have started popping up through the skin.
No, it's not like that. We have a mole on the ship. And the captain thinks it's one of us.
He's stunned by that. He looks hurt by that accusation.
I don't agree with why it is so. I'm going to take the time to prove that it's neither of us.
And he, at times like these, it reminds you that Mur is very young as he sits back in his chair real hard, and he folds his arms and sulks. like a sulky teenager.
Mer.
It's like, I haven't done anything. I've been sitting here all day,
Mer.
throwing up into a
Mer.
trash can.
Mer, I know that. Which is why I'm asking for your help.
As long
I
as
want
it
to
doesn't involve
find-
keeping...
Go ahead.
As long as it doesn't involve keeping anything down, I think I can do that.
I want some help finding... This is what we know. That AM transmission we've picked up, it's followed us. We think it's somewhere here on the ship. We don't know who set it up or when it was set up. It's entirely likely that it was a dead... Well, not a dead man's switch, but something long range and long term set up when we were in Guatemala while not looking, and no one on this ship is actually keeping it updated. It's just something attached to the power grid that's buzzing. It's not either of us, I know. But
Hasn't
because it
what's
is
his name been on the ship before?
once, yes. I believe he stayed above deck, topside.
Oh.
I believe, right?
Yeah, he did. Zaminiar barely left his helicopter.
Right. That being said, I want you to know that I trust you, and that's why I'm telling you this. I don't mean to make you feel like the captain doesn't trust you. She does. She's just... How do you put it? Following
turn-
Occam's razor.
When it turns out that there's a group of infected terrorists and they have something that seems to be following your boat, you look to the two who are clearly infected.
Correct. She distrusts me more than you. I think she's just having you in that list because it wouldn't have been fair to me for her to say she didn't trust me.
Well, just for that, I'm going to make sure that everyone gets double checked to make sure that I didn't miss something and there aren't any more of us.
Please. I guess I also came because I've been feeling weird as of late. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't anything.
Tightness in the chest, difficulty breathing, difficulty eating.
A little.
And do you believe this to be symptoms of something physical or symptoms of something mental? I mean, you have been under a lot of stress lately, and stress can cause physiological symptoms as much as it can cause mental symptoms.
No.
And
I believe it's just stress, yes. But I'd just like to make sure. And there's no one I trust more to do that than the chief medical officer of the Calliope.
he nods at that and stands up, and he gets one of those things that they use to test your blood at blood drives.
Mhm.
It basically looks like a big thumbtack razor. And he pulls out, he's like, I need your hand, and I need one of your fingers, one you don't mind hurting.
Yeah, left hand.
Takes it, and God, have you ever had them test your blood before you get your blood drawn? That hurts worse than actually getting your blood drawn.
I've never had to have that, no.
It's basically a small thing that's got a razor inside it, and it comes down and it cuts your finger and pulls some of the blood up with it. It's basically like a straight razor.
Mhm.
It's a very thin cut, but because you have so many nerve endings in your fingertips, very painful. But just for a brief moment.
Mm. Yeah, she probably just a little bit of a flinch, but
And then he sets that aside. He basically sets it on something that's going to start scanning your blood content. And he goes through the whole rigmarole of
yeah.
basically giving you like a very quick MRI.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, well, it's going to be several hours before I have results back from the MRI. But and he pulls the blood thing over and starts looking at some numbers, and he's like, I hate to say it, but everything is in line. Your parts per million, your blood content of Zenerite is steadily increasing, as is normal.
To be expected. So just stress, you think?
I would try and avoid as many stressful situations as you can. I know that it's as difficult as combat team, but stress can lead to a compromised immune system, which in some people, not everyone, because of course,
Is
this infection
accompanied
doesn't.
by narcolepsy, sunken face, obvious signs of distress, and severe need of a nap. Yes?
Well, once you get to be as infected as I can, you'll also start having more advanced symptoms, difficulty breathing, difficulty eating, not being able to stand being on a boat because the boat's always moving, but you're not. In your inner ear is like, I don't get this.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme vertigo.
I think you need to take it easy.
He needs a hammock.
Wouldn't that make it worse?
No, that's why they had hammocks on boats, because won't
Yeah,
move
it-
as much as the rest of the ship.
Basically,
Yeah,
your weight in the
It
hammock.
makes you move with the ship instead of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes you move with the ship instead of against the ship. Instead of
Think of
steadying
yourself as on a
yourself, you go
pendulum.
with the current.
Yeah. Think of yourself as
Well, I was today years old when I learned that.
Well, like if you're on a hammock and the ship lurches to the side, the hammock's not going to lurch, not immediately. Like, and by the time it falls back in place, you've maybe swung a little bit over, but compared to the
It
lurching
works
of a
with
ship,
the inertia
yeah, it's a much more
instead of
relaxed.
being something still.
Yep.
Yep.
So, but basically, she's saying you need to take it easy on yourself because we need you. More importantly, Frank needs you.
Once I have your results,
You will
and
take a
don't
nap.
tell Frank, I'm also going to remove these, because I know that we're going to be somewhere where people might come on board the ship and start looking for people who have things like these.
Correct. You know he can help you with those. I've seen him do it before.
I know, but it's my problem, and I can handle it myself.
Dad, I can shave on my own.
Medical officer?
Dad, I can shave these horrible hyper cancer growths off myself.
No, that's totally father-son vibe though. Of like, I know, he can help me, and it'll make it easier. But at the same time, I just want to do things on my own.
Well, and that's where
I'm
she's gonna latch
okay.
on to the, it's my problem. She'll go, with all due respect, in the very, very brief amount of time I have been on this ship, I have found that Zenerite poisoning is not just one person's problem. One person's problem.
Speaking of, can I see your medical exam card?
Of course.
If anyone asks, he says as he takes it and makes some adjustments to it, you have lupus.
It's always lupus.
It's always lupus.
Thanks, Dr. House.
What is that? What?
It's an autoimmune condition.
No. I know what lupus is, but where's that coming from? The Dr. House?
Oh, in house, it's like, "Ah, it's lupus.
Yeah, the show House. Yeah, every episode almost, or at least every other episode, they think, well, is it lupus? And they go down that route.
And they're
Which
like, no,
I
it's
don't
not
know
lupus.
anyone in the medical field. That might be what they're like, is like anything goes wrong and their two thoughts are cancer or lupus.
I think
Yeah,
that's
we call that
WebMD.
Dr. WebDM.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's the one where it's like,
WebMD.
you might have a small cough, you might have AIDS.
Mhm.
We just don't know.
Lupus. Got it.
Because if you start having any symptoms again, it's just a bout of pneumonia that you've developed.
Pneumonia from lupus, yes.
Compromised immune system.
Of course. One last... I suppose this is a request as opposed to anything else. Can you please keep what I told you confidential? I know it's a problem, but if
I
Frank-
started acting like I was being watched, that makes me look even more suspicious. And if we're trying to find the spy, then the spy needs to think that they're still being the spy and that we don't know that they're the spy, because... And he stops rambling.
Yes, and the last thing we need is Frank finding out about this and going to the captain.
Oh, Frank would kill somebody. And then the captain would kill Frank.
Yes.
And then I'd have to deal with that.
Yeah. And I would have to probably try and stop Frank from killing someone, so the person dying would most likely be me.
Why do I have to be the executor of his estate?
Lying is a sin. Why do you have to be the executor? Because it's a big boat.
Yeah. Anyway,
Of course.
You-
Thank you for your time.
go do what you need to do. I'm going to wait for your results and be sick.
You
You're
do
going
you,
to-
honey boo.
You are going to set up a hammock and go to sleep while you're waiting for my results.
In the immediate future, though, I'm going to be sick. Please excuse yourself from my medical wing.
Yes, and she does leave. Would Frank kill
And-
someone?
What?
Not anyone on the ship.
For
I mean-
basically going all TF2 and be like, medic is spy!
Yeah, I mean, like, literally, he would be upset, but he wouldn't kill anyone. He'd probably kick someone's ass if they got in his face about it. But, like, if they're not directly threatening his life, he'd just be like, what the fuck? He's just a kid. Like, fuck you.
Right.
Like, that's about what it would be.
Oh,
Also,
and that's
damn,
where I
didn't
figured,
realize
yeah.
how fitting that is. Medic is spy!
No, right?
No, medic is medic. Anyways, yeah, it's time to go to breakfast and learn Magic the Gathering.
I'm a howler.
Well, while you are learning magic, we're gonna cut ahead a while.
Mhm.
It's about 1:30 in the afternoon when you guys have finally made port. And there are a few things you notice as you actually do. Oh, I forgot to keep playing music this whole time. I'm a good DM. But there are a few things that you notice about coming up to shore. One, there's another Leviathan in port. Well, in port. They don't really make ports big enough for you guys.
Another one.
Oh, and you don't even have to fucking look. You look at it, it's gaudily colored. That is Shea Sirens, another world-famous Yaksha band.
Fuck.
Please refer to your player handouts.
Shea Sirens. Symbol, a screaming gorgon head. Operational zone, North America, Western Europe. History, the world's only all-female Yaksha company. The Sirens are notable for their flagrant and bombastic rejection of most conventions, where the vast majority of Yakshas will take contracts through Contracts International or other middlemen. The Sirens will only take contracts that are presented in person. Known for charging outrageous fees for their loud, bold, and almost performative combat stylings, the Sirens are one of the most rock star companies to put steel on the ground.
Yep.
This has
And-
been your moment with the Yaksha Pokédex.
And it goes right down to the point that their Leviathan, the Calliope is very austere in its colors. It's its original colors. Theirs has like some hot pink on it.
Oh, Amy's on that ship.
Dude, Amy'd be all for Shay's Siren. It's basically a
Yes.
girl band of fucking
It's-
mech warriors.
No, it's literally her ship in the fire strike, just on the ground.
Like,
Oh
I
my
think if
God,
she
is
was
the
in this
Queen of
game
Venom
and
on
she
there?
just
Are they
The
the
Queen
four
of Venom.
queens? The queens of Venom, Storms. Oh shit!
I mean,
you
they-
don't know.
they are
Oh.
queens.
Vesa is the Queen of Venom, supposedly in this alternate universe they're in. Nurx is the Queen of
Chaos.
Chaos.
That's about right.
Fucking.
I'm going to kill Chaos.
Let's see. Ashira is the Queen of Storms, and Shaba is the Queen of
Fury.
Fury. Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
that sounds
it's
about
a
right.
one-
too.
that one
it's
I
a
can
power.
buy.
It's a power foursome. They would not want to mess with them.
But yeah, you guys get brought in, and you know, basically the captain makes the call of basically all ashore who's going ashore.
Yeah, Frank is going to, instead of going on shore, he's going to find his way to the radio room.
You go there, and Ryota's there, and he's like, as soon as you come in, he's like, oh thank God. He goes, oh thank God, an excuse to take this off.
Yeah.
And he
I
points
say-
out the window at the other Leviathan. He says, they won't stop calling. They really want to talk to us.
I look at Ryota and I'm like, put it back on and talk to him. I'm going to open up a secondary channel.
He looks at you with this look like, why have you done this thing to me?
Yeah,
You
and
killed me.
also, here's the thing. Ryota has like never had to take orders from Frank. Like Frank is kind of like no nonsense right now, which is the exact opposite of their entire relationship.
And for a moment, like, he puts his Radio Man headpiece back on. He goes to press the button to like start talking to him, and then he stops and looks over you and goes, "Did you lose a duel with a lawnmower?"
Looks over and goes, something like that. And sticks on a headset, and he is going to open a channel directly to Happia.
You get the usual thing when you try and call a corporation, you know, where it's like, Happia Pharmaceuticals, leading the world to a brighter future. Your call is very important to us, and will be answered in the order received. For emergency for emergency calls, please dial, and it gives you like an extension number.
Yeah, I do whatever phone tree bullshit I have to do to either leave a voice message or talk to someone who's important.
It doesn't take long before like someone does actually pick up, but you could tell they're just like some schmuck.
All right. You happen to be able to take dictation to bring to the top?
There is a pause, and you do hear like, I might be able to. This isn't.
He's gonna watch.
This isn't about a complaint about one of our products, is it?
No, this escalation happens to be about Isla de Cerdo.
Ooh. One
Click,
moment.
you get put on hold.
We're
Someone
in
was
so
like,
much trouble.
way over my pay grade.
Yeah.
You just called up someone who's basically just like sitting there being like an intern, and they're
That's
like,
very on brand for
"Bring me to the
Frank too.
Pentagon."
He's
Right.
a fucking like boomer. Like this is super on brand for Frank.
This would be like calling the Pentagon, some middle management, and saying, "Hey, I have information on Project Manhattan in like 1942."
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah.
And you have a Russian accent when you say it, and they're like, "Oh shit,
Oh shit. Yeah.
the Ruskies."
But yeah,
The-
Frank.
Question about Project Manhattan.
Yeah.
And while you're waiting, Rio's like, "No, the captain's not here." No, I don't know where the captain is.
Tell him, and I like lean over. I'm like, tell him the captain's on Bourbon Street. That'll distract him for at least an hour.
Yes. And he's like, oh, just got a call from the captain. She's on Bourbon Street. Yes. Yes, I know that's in the IZ. I don't care. Goodbye. But, there's a long moment before the phone clicks back on. And it's this gruff woman's voice that says, talk.
And Frank pulls out a sheet of notebook paper that he's written on. Ryota can probably see the rough scrawling of a man who uses his pencils for carpentry as opposed to poetry. And he says, members of Hapia, this is Domingo Frank Ordonez of the Calliope. About 2 days ago, we mounted a calculated assault on Isla de Cerdo with the express purpose of taking design documents hidden within a bunker underneath your facility. The plan was to have zero casualty infill and exfil from the area with minimal casualty. The mission was given by a potentially rogue arm of Kairos. We took this job knowing this fact, yet we, as mercenaries, followed the money and figured we could reduce harm by altering whatever blueprints we found in order to render this asset useless. Upon exfiltration, we were going to launch an artillery barrage on the periphery of the camp to cause a distraction and leave the area without any sort of casualties other than hard targets. However, one of the men under my command misunderstood the orders and launched a danger-close strike on the camp itself. I don't need to tell you the aftermath of this effect. You know the aftermath better than I. On behalf of my crew, my ship, and in an act of basic decency, I both apologize and wish to make amends by any means necessary. If this means imprisonment, so be it. If this means compensation, so be it. The only punishment I will not accept is the death of my crew. If the punishment requires corporal punishment, then I request that I may stand in place of my comrades. If I may do anything to make amends, I will do it. I apologize. We apologize. And we understand that these words will not replace the people who died that day. And then he just ends transmission right there.
Jesus.
Nice.
Yeah, you start, like, immediately after you hang up, they're trying to call back.
Yeah, and what is Ryota's reaction to this, by the way?
We're fucked.
He's got this look that's like, you just fucking killed us.
Yeah.
And he's like, you just got someone killed.
Frank says, if it's anyone, it's me. And then he picks up the phone. And by the way, also, this is the first time that Ryota has heard Frank's name. Pretty much no one on the ship knows Frank's name except for Mur and, now Ryota knows. And,
You mentioned Indiana.
Indiana knows.
Domingo.
Yeah.
Domingo.
Yeah, Domingo Ordonez. But yeah, he picks up.
Are you lying to me?
Absolutely not.
There's a long pause. On the one hand, I respect your candor. It's not everyone, every day, who's born with the stones in order to fess up to something like that. On the other hand, 136 people just died 2 days ago. I'm not even a quarter of the way through writing these notes. To grieving families. They were researchers. The only people who survived were the only people who could have fought back. I know this doesn't matter. I'm yelling at a merc for a job they did. We'll be in contact later. I hope that your superior officer is willing to talk next time.
Frank says, before you go, I want you to know, you're not talking to a merc at this point. You're talking to someone who understands the gravity of this situation.
You hear them take a deep breath through the phone line. I have no respect for Yakshas. I think that you're all a bunch of hard-line, hard-wired money grubbers, but you have some respect of mine.
And he says, and Frank will give her the contact information, the direct line to the captain. And he'll basically say, remember, I was the one who was in charge of this. If you're demanding any sort of corporal punishment, and he gives her his direct line as well, says, contact me and give me a day at least.
That's not a decision of mine to make. I will leave that up to the doctor. Click.
Yep. And then Frank gets up, nods at Ryota, just walks out of the room.
Who's just like... And then, like, he sticks his head out and he's like, who names their child Domingo?
He would say shit like that, wouldn't he?
He would, wouldn't he?
Yeah, for the rest of you, if all of you are going ashore, you guys basically have to back the Calliope up to where the gangway for the mech bay can open up. That's the closest thing you guys have to anyway to egress off the ship. You're still kind of in a port, but right before you get off, there are armed guards, and they all look bored, tired. They don't want to be here. But one of them holds up a hand to the three. He's like, stop. Present identification, present your medical exam cards, state your name, state your purpose for being here and your intended duration of stay.
Yeah, I'd just say we go through that whole song and dance instead of having to act that out. Is that
Yeah,
all right,
and-
guys?
You know, they've got like even the little thing that you use to try and see if the cards are fake.
They're real cards.
They linger on all three of yours for a little bit and kind of give you side eyes. But finally, they just kind of shrug, fold them up, hand them back, and it was like, whatever. And then, like, they're about to go through the whole spiel of, do you understand that failure to comply with this and providing false information can result... And then, like, someone clears their throat, and you look, there's this man in a very nice pinstripe suit, black with whitish grayish stripes, gaudily clothed. He's got a bright red vest with a deep maroon collared shirt underneath it. By the way, it's sweltering hot and it's a summer in New Orleans, but he is dressed to impress. He's got a silver cane topped with a fucking diamond top. And he motions it towards the... And he's got two obvious goons behind him. They're in military garb in the sense that they're wearing, like, body armor, they're armed. But there's no, like, patches, there's no moniker on them to say that they're, like, local law enforcement. He sort of waves his hands like, that'll do, boys, now run along and let real people talk. And they just shrug, and as they pass, he hands them all 1,000 Chev
Jesus.
notes.
All right. He's a
each.
whale. All right, he's a whale.
And he gives you both the wide arms like, welcome to sunny Narlands, where Mardi Gras is every day. If the world's ending, we might as well have a party. And what can I say is happening that we might entertain another one of your distinguished vessels?
Another one of our distinguished vessels.
Well,
Sounds
there
kinda
are
like-
those femme fatale troublemakers down yonder.
I was gonna say, Sin just taps your shoulder and points at the giant ship off in the distance.
Yeah, it was just the way he phrased it. It was one of those, like, one of your ships. And it's like, well, we don't own that ship. So... Although he's looking like he could probably buy both of these and have a little capital left over for the other 22. There's 24 of them, right? Or they're just,
9.
they're only 9. Okay, he looks like he could probably buy all 9 if he wanted to. Can I help you?
And he smiles and, puts both his hands on the top of the cane. And he's like, "My name is Gabriel Weaver, and I am a man about town."
Right. Sorry.
I have a vested interest in making sure that everything in Narlands runs smoothly.
Are you saying that there's a way we can help that transpire?
I just need to make sure that you don't mean any ill will towards any of the good inhabitants of this fine city. Or better yet, what are a bunch of mercenaries doing here? Of all places.
We're here to have some goddamn fun.
He smiles at you. And despite it all, it's a crocodile smile. His eyes are boring into you. And he's like, "Oh, well, sir, you've come to the right place, assuming you brought your pocketbook."
I'm trying to think if Sin would actually have a pocket.
He basically said, "Do you got a wallet?"
Yeah.
Kind of shoots a glance over
Probably.
the collar.
He probably glances over to the other ship and is like, "Oh, the kind of fun I'm looking for is gonna be probably the kind I don't pay for."
Oh, you've never been to this part of this once fair country, my boy. Anything, and I mean anything, can be found, categorized, and sold in
Looks like the
sunny
ship
New
again.
Orleans.
I don't think they take kindly to that offer.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Ha!
Was that a bit cliche of me? I so do hate being easily perceptible.
Can Frank walk out?
Yeah, Frank, you can walk out and with this fucking guy who's just throwing on a show, peacocking it up.
We're dealing with Gambit.
Yeah, I walk up and I'm just like, "Hey guys,
What can
This is
Remy
stuffed
do
shirt.
for you?
Who's the stuffed shirt?
A man with a mouth. I believe there was once a comic book about such a merc with a mouth.
Oh,
It didn't
Yeah.
survive the. It didn't survive the media either.
yeah, I used to read Deadpool when I was a kid. So, what's your name and what's your deal?"
He's
As I
trying
said
to sell us things. Or
I'm not selling you anything. I like a man that's direct.
Mm-hmm.
Saves me a lot of time. I am a big shot about town, about the people who really own Nolans, and I want to make sure that no one here is trying to interfere.
So you're a flaneur trying to find out and scope out anybody to do jobs potentially. Here's my card. Just hands him the card.
He takes it and just flicks it off to the side. He's like, "I'm not here to hire anybody. I'm here to make sure that you're not here to cause trouble. Listen."
Hey, that
this is
card
the-
cost me a chev.
He just throws another 1,000 Chev bill your way, and he's like, "Keep the change."
You can't buy my honor. Kind of slides it back with his foot. He's like, "Listen,
Oh.
man, I'm older than you. I don't give a shit."
I was gonna be like, "You can buy mine, yoink."
Yeah,
But
yeah.
listen, this is a very trying time for the city of Narlands. This time of year, we have to deal with the Sons of Liberty.
Mm. That's before
Ah.
the Metal Gear game was made, so I can't make a cheeky Frank comment. Shit.
Sons of Liberty?
Riffraff, scoundrels. They like to puff up their chests and talk about being real patriots of the former United States. They use this time to try and cavort about and let's just say that they give me a headache this time of year. And they like people with big, shiny, stompy machines.
What year was the What year was the meteorite again? I'm sorry.
2005.
The room exists, boys. And
Oh.
so she goes. Well, being of true-blooded American descent, that definitely means I'm interested.
God.
Point me to these Sons of Liberty. I would like to meet them, yes?
Oh, just wait until tonight's Mardi Gras parade. I'm sure they'll be prancing about in their reds and their whites and their blues, singing their over theirs and their
The Yankee
battle
Doodle
cries
Doodles.
of freedoms.
Well, we are, as you put it, mercenaries. So, you know, if you don't want us working for them, probably need a contract to occupy our time while ever they're trying to occupy ours. You know, time's a bit of a premium out here.
It is. Which is why I'm not wasting mine offering you a contract.
Ha! Frank actually chuckles at that, looks over and is like, look at this Baron Samdy cheese wheel looking ass.
Can I go?
Us.
Are you going to hold us here much longer?
I'm going to let you go with one last warning. 2, actually. Avoid the old quarter unless you want to end up like those rock faces. Or 2, if I catch wind that you're interfering with our city and our holdings. And then he points to Frank and he's like, use our student saying, Baron Samdi. Baron of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be in my court.
Yeah, he grins and goes, you got it, Gaby.
And he
All right. Thanks for the info, she says, starting to walk off, waves a hand.
Yeah, Frank
I need
is
to go
right
wash
behind.
I need to wash this flavor from my mouth.
Yeah, you actually hear like one of his guards goes like, and then gets like slapped in his like fucking bulletproof vest, and he's just like, "Oop."
Yeah. Yeah, as we're walking off, I turn back to Sam, I'm like, give me that 1,000 Chev note.
Do you give him the 1,000 Chev note?
Hand it over and he'll be like, we'll split it later.
Yeah, he was like, don't worry.
I
I'm
need
just
new.
fine. He's like, I'm paying back a debt. All those
Oh.
cigarettes I've bummed.
Oh, I do need a new phone while we're here.
He like thinks for a second, thinks about his wallet and how it's excuse me, thinks about his wallet and how it has a decent amount of chevs because for some reason Frank is fiscally responsible. Then just hands the 1,000 chev note back and goes, actually I don't need it.
Hell yeah! New cell phone.
Right?
But man, that guy was a pompous ass.
Yeah. I know his type. They're the type that walk around acting like their shit don't stink, and then they end up on the end of a 44, and, well, you know, you saw how shit went in Guatemala.
But I will say, it's a grim, kind of murky day out. It rained the day before, but the clouds are still there. Threatening rain. Every now and then you feel like a very light drizzle, like it might start. But the spout in the sky never really gets going. And normally, you're all from places where, when it rains, everything gets a little bit cleaner. Everything smells a little bit better. It's like the whole world took a bath. Not here. It smells like mildew and drowned rats, and all of the dirt and the grime just seems to stick to everything. And what does wash off is just kind of sitting there in the streets now. But everybody, despite all that, is treating this as if it were the legit Mardi Gras. You guys are barely out of the dockyard before people are handing you, lanyards of beads. There are people in full get-ups. There are men dressed and painted in silver and gold, dancing on street corners for money. There's all sorts of attractions for money.
Is Myrrh here?
No, Mur does not
Good.
leave the boat.
Good.
Because all it takes is for one person to look at Mur a little too much and be like, hey, what's he doing out of the infected zone?
Right? Yeah, no.
I'm calling the cops. But, yeah, you are in, so after Shiva, the old quarter of New Orleans, which is right now, like, that's the tourist spot. That's where Bourbon Street is. There's really no infected zone in New Orleans. They say that this is a city for everybody. The old quarter is where they shove all the people they don't want people to see.
Mm.
So it's a ghetto.
And the new quarter, as they call it, is where all the rich, pompous people live. And you guys are in basically the party district, which is the other two halves of the city. Well, the other two quarters of the city. Which are basically always done up. Like they say, it's Mardi Gras every day now. The world's gonna end, we might as well have a party.
Party.
You can tell who are the locals and who are the tourists, though. The locals are either trying to shill their way to get more of the tourists' money, or they just look tired. They just want to go about their business. Just want to go about their day. The tourists are living it up. What's everyone's goals here at the city? Talk about those real quick while I actually have to BRB really
Wait,
fast.
we get a downtime action?
Yes.
Okay. I definitely know what my downtime action's gonna be.
Discuss.
Yes. I'm probably gonna buy some
Okay.
cigarettes.
While he's gone, I'm totally going to use my next downtime action on the ship to build a robot dog and put Set inside of it.
I love it. That's fucking
Or
amazing.
An aspect of Set, and so like Set will wander around the ship as a robot dog.
That sounds like a terrible and wonderful idea.
Exactly.
It's gonna look like the little robo dog from Mass Effect 3 that wanders around the engine bay.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I can't remember. No, it's gonna be like a little cube with legs. Really.
Do we have Lancer on Lexicon Ludi?
Oh, so it's gonna be like K9 from.
Oh, I don't know, but we. Oh,
I don't know.
hey, I do know it's on Tabletop Simulator.
Har.
Yeah,
No, really, I found there's a whole table that has like all the rules and everything. I was like, what
Oh
the
no,
heck?
so I saw, yeah. It looks
What's-
really good.
What's Howler gonna do?
Howler is.
You know, there's probably card shops around here.
Yeah. No, I think Howler is going to go look for magic cards in magic shops.
You can. I could even
thank
imagine
you.
you finding someone. Ah, yes, they just call me Grandpa. My grandson here, Yugi, really runs the store for me.
No. Bad. Bad game, and his deck was even worse.
No, he's a third-rate deck, or he's a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. Come on, man, you got this.
Fine. He plays a third-rate card game with a fourth-rate kids dub.
God.
Get it?
Fourth-rate kids, that's good.
That was clever.
Could somebody screenshot the downtime actions? Because I actually cannot access because the trove is down again.
It's been down for like 2 weeks now.
Maybe it's finally dead.
No! Don't say it!
Let me open up my folder because I still have.
Daniel, you have access to Lexicon Ludi, right?
I should, yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, at some point in the near future, would you be able to upload Lancer onto that?
Yeah, let me just make sure I
Let's
have
see if I can even get
Lancer
to it. Am I-
core NPCs and Lancer free version.
Because if I was, I
don't know if
forgot.
it's the full thing, but yeah, I'll send you what I can.
Thank you. I know what downtime action I want to do, I just forget mechanically how it works. I want to start a business venture.
Here we go. Give me 1 second. I'm on the. Oh, sorry. My stomach is not like me being up.
And the business venture I want to start, James,
Mm-hmm.
is I want to start a a humanitarian nonprofit for the infected.
Good luck.
I know.
I will say good luck. But as long as you're not offering them actual direct medical treatments, technically not illegal.
Yeah, on paper we don't do that.
Right.
Technically, it's not illegal then.
Yeah,
People are going to look at
exactly.
you like a weirdo, though.
Yeah, we are all about airdropping food and basic supplies.
Oh no! An F-14 Tomcat sees your Cessna. What's going to happen? Clear and present danger!
Uh,
I don't
just
like you. Doctors without borders? Well, they're going to be doctors without lives now.
God.
Jeez. So,
There we go. Missions
Oh.
up, time down.
you're back. Everyone should say what they're doing. So we have that.
Yes. I already
Well,
said what I'm doing.
I do want to start with howlers.
Hey, you know where I can get some magic stuff? I'll be asking people and they'll be pointing me to the magic shops.
Yeah, they're pointing you to a magic shop, and it's called the Heart's Wands.
Ow, ow.
And it is outside. It says that it has all sorts of things for magicians, as well as being run by a lady named Madame, who is able to offer you everything from palm readings to scryings to anything else you could want. It's a very gaudily. I know I've used that word a lot, but let's be fair. That's a word that describes everything in New Orleans is gaudy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old brownstone, and it's got a very, very muted purple awning that's got sequins woven into it to make it look like a starscape, with fine pink lines between the stars to highlight out constellations. The windows haven't been cleaned in a long time. They're smoke stained with all of the candles that are burning on the inside. It's very dim just from looking in, and it's got that wafting smell of incense.
This is an interesting place. He's looking for any sign of magic cards.
Well, they have pretty much any card for any game you could think of.
Except magic.
No, but there is a funny thing where you're looking at the magic cards, and this older woman comes out from, you don't even know where she came from. She's got crooked teeth. She's got the dreads pulled back into a ponytail. She's wearing the mystical robes. She's carrying the skull. She's very much playing up that kind of witch doctor kind of look. And she just kind of chuckles and is like, magic, huh? Do you practice other magics?
No. Other magic doesn't usually win me stuff.
She laughs at that. It's like, you're just not doing it right. I could teach you how to win many things with prestidigitation.
Oh god.
Okay.
She's learning. She's offering to teach you actual D&D
Fifth
magic.
edition.
Learn it.
Alright. He gets a 5th edition spell book. He's a fucking wizard. He turns into Corin. The end.
Okay.
I don't offer that for free, though.
No. Prestidigitation, I think, is a pretty good card. I think I've seen one.
Ah,
I like you. Perhaps I do offer you something for free.
Okay.
You look like a man of many burdens. Would you like to see what the future holds for you?
Yes. Yes, I would.
I love the idea of you saying this with just a completely straight face. Like just
Yes.
yes, I would. Like enthralled.
Yeah, because that sounds really goddamn interesting.
with a bony hand wrapped in a green, like, almost looks like tissue paper with how thin the fabric is, as she waves you off towards a table that's got like a skull, obviously a fake skull in the middle with candles set on top of it that are burning down, the wax dripping onto the skull. There's all sorts of other things there. There's built like posters of like the major arcana around the room. It's a very circular room. There's a magic ball in the corner that's smoky and billowing with white fog within it. It's obviously not some sort of attraction as well. But she sits you down and is like, normally I do tarot, but for you, something more personal. And she holds out her hands to take yours.
He'll give her his hands.
Have you ever had your hand read?
No. But yeah, I've had plenty of red on these hands lately.
You're a killer.
Okay, that was underappreciated. That was good.
That was damn good. You're a killer. I could tell it when you walked in. You got that look to your eyes. You got that walk to your feet. The burden of death.
Yeah, definitely a burden.
And she starts ghosting her fingers along the lines of your hand. It's almost kind of creepy the way she focuses so intently on them. Her eyes seem to almost roll back into her head for a moment as she's deeply thinking. And she says, you are a man with no real goal other than getting more gold. Am I right?
Unfortunately, yes, you are.
That be changing soon. Every soldier be needing a war, and there be one coming for you, I think. It don't bring no glory, it only bring the horror. But in the time to come, I see that you would be standing with people from all the walks of life to protect all life.
That's actually a relief. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but it sounds good.
Oh, it ain't all good though. You need to be watching yourself more closely. You think yourself invincible. You've already seen that you're not. You think that you're smart. No man is. We all be fools marching to the grave. Be careful that the ones you're marching with don't push you in head first.
Okay, that's kind of ominous. I get it though.
Hey, I take offense to that.
The future's ever in flux, though.
He's too big to push.
You're a strong man with a strong mind and will. You've been tested, though. There's a quaver to your finger. Was this finger used to pull the trigger on something you wish you hadn't?
Basically, yeah. Very big trigger.
There's going to be more times like that. You're going to do many bad things. And you're going to say they were for good reason. Whether you believe that or not, or whether you're saying that so that you can sleep at night, that for you to decide. I will warn you though, when you go to the cold, when you go up to the north, watch for the winged thing with the horn. It flies from the oldest places to finish the newest sins.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. He's starting to look kind of disturbed by that one.
Coming to finish me off. Oh no.
Yeah, find this man Kotsini, kill him. I don't like him. He owe me money.
Oh shit.
Madam Ava? Fuck.
I see that the next thing that's gonna test you big time. And she thinks for a moment. I see bright lights in the sky like 1,000 stars of 1,000 colors. I see people cheering before they cut off. Oh. One moment.
She says in a perfectly normal voice as she runs.
Hold on a moment. I need to check the script. The blood dim tide is loose, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. Make sure that when the blood be spilling, it ain't yours. And when it be too much, when the world be a little too wet, go to the driest of places. And there you find the Metal Man. And there you find where you're supposed to be going. And maybe then, you and your other Metal Man, the one that be following you, maybe you finally make up for all your problems, for all your sins. Or maybe you die. I can't see that well.
She's Kamat Killer.
Okay. Well, thanks, I think. That is a lot to take in. He is kind of pulling his hand back from her.
And she lets him. Remember, everything changes. This could all be just the rambling of an old woman who wants to take your money. Speaking of, I see you've been looking at a few cards nice and hard.
Yeah, how much is that Wheel of Fortune?
Ooh.
She stands up and does the very used car salesman, puts her arm around your shoulder and is like, walk with me, we talk.
Okay.
And we're gonna cut there. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, meeny, meeny, mo. What's Indiana doing right now?
Well, Indiana's got a meeting to go to.
A meeting in the old quarter.
A meeting in the old quarter.
Meeting in the old quarter.
A meeting in the old quarter.
She did
A
her
meeting in
best
the
to
old
get-
quarter.
A meeting
She
in
did
the
her
old
best
quarter.
to get lost in the crowd and turned on the invisible powers of an invisible spell suit.
Look at the muscularity.
Oh no, Mormons!
Jesus.
The best part about Yakshas is the barbarian.
The best part about the Yakshas are the double agents. Snuff.
The best part about Yakshas are the mechs. You can blow up all the moments you want with these.
Okay, all right, that's good.
You
win.
can fit so many bullets in this thing.
It explodes.
Right.
But yeah, I wish you hadn't mentioned Twin Peaks earlier, because the address
Why?
you follow does go to a tavern or in a bar, whatever you want to call it.
Uh-huh.
I'd call it more of an inn because it's 2 floors.
Mhm.
Because no one got no basement in New Orleans. Because you do that, it gonna flood.
Yeah.
That's something you notice about the old quarter. There's parts of it that are flooded. There are parts of it that are completely uninhabited. And it's just abject poverty wherever you look. But it's an inn, 2 stories. Bottom floor is like a bar. Top one's where the rooms are. It's called the Red Room.
Ooh. You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
When exactly did the meteor hit?
2005.
No, what month?
Oh,
here. I've got the dates.
June or July, wasn't it?
Damn, that sucks, because that's 1 to 2 months before Hurricane Katrina would have hit.
Oh yeah, New Orleans got fucked.
They got their shit
Hold on.
rocked.
Because a meteor impacting the Earth would have drastically changed the weathering system.
Yeah,
That's true.
it made it worse.
Yeah,
They
that
got
would
the
make
hurricane a little bit early, along with probably some other stuff.
the rest of the world, yeah.
I put it in chat somewhere, and I can't find it now. So
Like, and you know what made it even worse?
Huh.
All these storm systems have Zenerite in them somehow. It's in the
Oh,
air.
Christ. Oh, God, Hurricane Katrina would have been a fucking nightmare. More so.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not
Lord.
kidding when I said that this world's pretty fucked.
Oh, it's the end of the world. Just not... It's
the end of the world. Let's have a party.
This is a weirdly post-apocalyptic, yet, like, what would that be? Not pre, but what is, like, during?
Fuck.
Apocalyptic?
Yeah, it would just be apocalyptic.
Oh, and now I get to use one of my new musics.
I believe we call that rapture. That event right there. At least in some circles, we call that rapture.
No, I think this is more the tribulations.
Okay, there you go.
But,
I'm sure there's like some semblance of the Catholic Church left, so they might have a name for it.
Indiana, have you ever been in an infected zone before?
Not as an infected. Usually it's a job.
Well, you've been in plenty. You've been in them before, and they,
Yeah, I mean,
For
I've
lack
been
of a
in
better-
them before, just usually in a mech.
for lack of a better term, they are almost always ghettos.
Mhm.
This is that in all but name. This is that without the wall. It's bad. It's bad even by their standards. But the Red Room seems almost like a beacon of normalcy amidst all this just the worst that could come out of this kind of situation. And it's no exaggeration to say there are people dying in the streets.
Right.
But the Red Room is bright. The lights are on, unlike a lot of places here. The doors and the windows aren't shuttered. There's people who seem to be at least trying to pretend to be having a good time. There's a big bouncer outside, clearly infected,
She would probably
blinded
find-
in one eye by the big chunks of Zenerite that have poked from like this whole section of his face.
Right. She probably did find a nice place to, a secluded space to reappear, rather than doing it right in front of him.
Yeah, the worst that happened is you scared off like a very heavily infected cat.
Right.
It
So-
limped off, hissing at you.
Yeah, goes up to him.
He just looks at you, sizing you up, kind of doing that thing of folding his arms and trying to make himself look big.
She still has that sword poking over her right shoulder.
Leave that here.
I don't think so. You can have
No
this.
weapon.
She says, you know, holding out the SMG on a sling, on her in her sling.
Reaches and takes it, and he looks over, and you can tell this guy's used and handled firearms plenty of times. Just the way he handles it, takes out the clip, pulls back on the charge handle to flick out the round that's already chambered.
Mhm.
catches it, puts it back in the clip. No weapons.
I'm coming here to see some very dangerous people. I'd rather not have all of the weight on your side. Besides, if I really wanted to, I could just get in. You think that me stepping up to you was my choice? No, this was a formality.
Go up to the bar, order 4 Shirley Temples.
Duh.
Jesus, someone's gonna get crunk.
Shirley
They're
Temples
so
are non-alcoholic,
good.
you goof ass.
But
I
they're
know.
so good. You can pretend.
Exactly.
Because I believe...
Imagination.
So it's just like someone's
Because then
gonna
it's a
get crunk.
Cosmo, right? Yeah.
Oh.
But
Yes. But yeah, the Shirley Temple is non-alcoholic because Shirley Temple wasn't allowed to drink.
Because she was a child.
It's just ginger ale, simple syrup, shot of cherry, and a cherry on
Punching
top, I
cherry.
think.
Mhm. Thank you for letting me keep my sword.
He kept the gun though.
Yeah, I understand. That kills people. Swords? Nah. Old people.
Carl, guns kill people.
Grenadine, that's what it is, not cherry.
Gotcha.
My bad, sorry.
Ah, you're good. But yeah,
And you
go
step in. It's a warm place. It's got a warm color scheme going on. A lot of red, a lot of orange.
Yeah,
Place is called the Red Room. It's a big red room.
yeah.
It's a lot of tables that are set up around a central stage, and there's a woman up there in red. And she's singing. She's singing the blues. She's singing
Lady in red.
No, that'd be a bit too on the nose, even for my
This
dumb
is-
ass.
This is hey, but real life doesn't care about that shit. We were talking about that the other day.
I know that Indiana liked to watch old movies. Did she read a lot of music? Did she listen to a lot of old music?
So while she was with the Ochre Blades, basically only approved shit. Once she got out, yeah, she started listening to, whatever she wants.
Did she listen to any Bessie Smith? Because we're talking old music.
I don't recognize that name, so I don't think so.
Well, the woman there is singing her
What's she
heart
sing?
out. She's singing "Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out."
Ah.
Real
Okay.
fitting. There's not a huge crowd.
Good pick.
Is that actually the painting?
That's an
Called
actual
Red
Van
Room?
Gogh painting, yeah. I feel like that's like what the bar would look
No,
like.
I mean,
though.
is that called Red Room?
Oh, no. That's called the Night Cafe.
Oh, right, okay. I was
Red
just like, wait a minute,
Rum.
it's red.
Red
Did you
Rum.
literally Google that?
But there's a few people. They tend to be little clusters. Tables tend to be off to the far place. There's a heavy smell of smoke and mildew in the air. Very, very hazy. People are openly smoking because, let's be real, the infected don't really care about getting lung cancer now, do they? The bar's
Yeah.
empty. Pretty dingy place. Like, it's lively, it's warm, it's inviting. It hasn't been given any sort. It's not up to code. They haven't had the inspector here recently.
Stepping over a dead body to get in, man, almost feels like boards.
You're not stepping over a dead body. The wallpaper sure looks like it's seen a few dead bodies with how it's starting to peel off of the walls.
Jeez. Yeah, take stock of the situation. Anybody here with weapons? I know we said no weapons, but I have a weapon.
There's a broken staircase leading up,
Huh?
and there's very clearly someone with Kairos at the top, just
Okay.
guarding the top of the stairs. Mask, everything. And he's armed. He's armed with an assault rifle.
Okay. Yeah, go to the bar. Hop on the stool.
And there's a man there. He's older. He's a big, swarthy fella. little beady eyes sunken into a really strong featured face with big, heavy brow. He's got a very bushy mustache, makes it look like he's always kind of pouting or always kind of deep in thought kind of look.
Wilford
He's-
Brimley.
Wilford Brimley. Hello, I'm Wilford Brimley, and I'm here to talk to you about Zunarite poisoning.
Diabetes.
And I'm here to talk space cancer.
Space cancer. Nod
Which
to
actually is a slang term for Zunarite poisoning, is space cancer.
We all got space cancer down here, Charlie.
You know how some people, like, you get chicken pox or you get any sort of pox real bad, you get the marks, especially on, like,
Yeah.
soft places like your cheek. Think that, but it's from the pock marks of people having to remove those extrusions, those rocks from their face, which is why people call them rock faces. He's got a fair few of those. Get out.
Oh, I thought you were talking for Indiana for a second. I'm
No.
like, okay.
No, Kierkegaard's like, Brooks? And I'm like, get out.
God. But
But,
no, hop up, look at him. I guess I need 4 Shirleys.
he looks at you. New here. Takes a deep breath through his nose. Boss is in a meeting. Not talking to nobody.
Tell him it's a bit of a waterfall.
If you get in trouble, it's your deal, on my. He slips you a little card, and it's got the Kairos logo on it. He's like, just hand that to the man upstairs, and you get in, no problem.
You didn't expect me to remember that code, did you?
You fucking better. You guys have been using it nonstop.
Yeah. So takes a card, looks at it. Yeah, pockets it, heads up the stairs.
And you start walking up the stairs. They creak under your relatively small weight, like it's a bit iffy.
Right.
And as you start getting towards the stairs, you notice that the guard has seen you and has shifted his stance to where he's more clearly blocking the way.
Right. Reaches into pocket. Shows card in between 2 fingers.
He nods and points down the hallway and says, "Second door on the right. Knock."
Nods. Goes down the hall.
Dare you not
Probably.
to knock.
You can't hear people talking through the door. One person very calmly and quietly, one person very loudly, and very stuttery in how they speak.
I don't know.
There's a
if you heard that
pause.
now. Okay.
There's a pause, then you hear, "Since when do you entertain guests?" And then there's a pause before the door opens. And it's Vozigo, the guard. He has just like a snub pistol pointed, but when he realizes it's you, tucks it away and steps out of the way of the door. And Zminiar is sitting at a table, like at a desk, and there's like a big screen on the back wall, and I actually have a picture for the guy he's talking to because he's fucking hideous.
Okay.
Let me make it bigger for you guys.
Ooh,
There is nothing about his face. You
You
can see the neck up. Most of the skin on his face is real, except he has no nose. It's been replaced with mechanic stuff. His eyes have been replaced. His ears have been replaced. He's
Wow.
bald because the majority of his skull seems to be a skull plate. His neck is fake. And when he talks, he moves, and these piercing yellow lights for eyes just look at you. And he pulls back. His lips are blue just from, like, lack of blood. and he's got fake teeth as well. And he's like, "You have such lovely guests."
Adam Smasher?
I was about to say, are you a cut of fuckable meat?
And then like
He
twitches his
kissed the
head
Blarney Stone,
in a
I'm just saying.
in a spasm for a moment before Zaminiar just like, "We'll talk later." And like right as this guy starts yelling some other response, he clicks the button and it's gone. And he it's a swivel chair, because of course all bad guys must be in swivel chairs.
Of course.
He turns and is like, "You're here sooner than I expected."
What can I say? If you're early, you're on time.
He's shuffling a few papers on desk. A lot of them he seems to be intentionally getting them away from you and turning them so that you can't easily look at them.
Yeah. May I sit?
He nods, and Vozigo moves back. There's a chair right next to Zaminiar's, and he sits in it, and he looks tired. But he sits there watching you for a long second before he lays his head on the table.
Right. And step in and take a seat opposite. Sitting up straight, proper, soldier-like. Probably adjusting the sword so she can sit with it on.
Hope they didn't hassle you too much at the front door.
No.
He nods, and how are you enjoying our fair city?
Honestly, it's about as much as I expected.
Which shouldn't be that way.
Agreed.
Walls or not. You're here. You've considered my offer. Just gives her this long stare.
Right. I'm trying to remember. The offer was basically just to work, right?
Yeah, work with us. Work with us because we actually care about you.
Mm-hmm.
He basically said, once you start getting the extrusions on your body, that's when they're going to really realize that you're a threat.
I want to say yes, but with one caveat.
He thinks on it for a moment and reaches down to pull up his right arm onto the table so that he can kind of put his arms folded.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "You're in a very precarious place to be bargaining, but I'm interested, and it's nice to have conversation with someone who has an indoor voice."
That does elicit a small chuckle. The crew of the Calliope know that you called.
You told me it was a secure channel.
So did I. But I think we can get this to work in our favor. I told them that you wanted me to work for you. And I told them that it would be useful to have a double agent on the inside.
He tenses in his thinking, and almost with that silence, Razago sits back up, and he's giving you a hard stare, looking for anything about you. He's especially watching your see if you're doing anything like you might reach for the sword.
Her hands are folded in her lap.
And he makes a show of putting the pistol out.
Yeah, on the table.
How do I know that you're...
Good.
How do I know that you're going to be a triple agent and not a quadruple agent?
Because honestly, that's too many numbers to be looking at. Second, this wouldn't have happened had well, under different circumstances, that wouldn't have happened at all. But after our little mission for you, well, things were on high alert.
Because someone got trigger happy?
Someone did get trigger happy, which is why I want them gone. I wouldn't work for them willingly if my life depended on it. But if the fate of your organization depended on it, I think that's something I could do.
He pushes himself up with his left side. By that, do you mean all of Kairos or specifically me? I'll tell you now there's a difference.
My loyalty would be to you, not Kairos.
He nods. I've had a lot of people tell me that. They get snared in by Iblis in his talk of making a better world for everybody, infected and not alike.
You know, they tried that once before. I believe the man who was a part of that was assassinated by the FBI. Of course, it wasn't infected. That was a long time ago.
Yes, but he's persuasive, nothing else.
Which is why I don't talk to him. I talk to you. What do you think?
About you?
No. Can we really stand as equals against the people that have perpetrated our demise for as long as we have existed?
No. It's as simple as that.
Agreed.
And why would we? Why would I work with people who shattered my leg? And points over to Bosco. Cut out his tongue.
You wouldn't. The same reason I wouldn't work for the group that got me infected in the first place, or the group that has gotten me on a list with a major corporation.
Happier. They're good people. And that's the problem. Good people can't do what needs to be done. The history isn't made by good people. It's made by bad people with good intentions.
You know, I think, given what I've seen of you so far, you have the ability to remake the world in the image you see fit. My only question is, do you have the commitment to do it? That's why I'm here. I want to see if that's truly what it is.
He smiles, a very wry smile. It's very bold to walk into a man's house and question him like that.
I believe I was once told to make any impression at all, you have to go for it, or be nothing at all.
I don't know if I can trust you. You're an unknown quantity in a game that is very, very precarious. But I'm at the point where I'm losing that game. And having another piece in play might just be enough to change up the board.
You don't have to trust me, you just have to use me. Trust comes with time, yes?
There's only one person in the world I trust.
Kind of flicks eyes to the side.
He can't really speak for himself on that.
Understood. Look, If I were truly going to be a double agent for you, I wouldn't have said anything. And if I were going to be a quadruple agent, well, would I really be here now, talking like this? I'd be trying to get on your good side. I'm here because I believe that you and I share similar goals. I want to see the destruction of the Calliope and her crew. Nothing more, nothing less. After that? Well,
Not yet.
not yet.
Sorry. Talking with people.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha.
People.
He looks. He watches you for a long moment.
Mm.
You're not the only infected on that ship.
No, I'm not. But, that is something I suppose I should be giving you, correct? If an olive branch of sorts. I don't know how you managed to put an AM radio transceiver on the Calliope. I don't know if there's an agent underneath planning or if you just dropped it off. But they know it's there and they're trying to silence it. Is that really important to you? I can make that problem stay.
I like that it's distracting you, but do you want me to let in on the secret?
Listening.
You brought it in yourselves. You killed my men and stole their money. There's a transceiver in the box. We wanted to keep track of whoever it was and make sure that they were giving out our newest directive to any agents in the field.
Good. Good. Then I will make sure that box stays as it is.
Good.
Now,
It's
as
not
for
important for the plan, but... And he gets this very, almost, not evil smile, but kind of devilish smile.
Yeah.
Is they think it's important. If they make it important, then they're blind to what really matters.
Oh, good. What do you want to know about the crew? I am your eyes and ears. You mentioned the other infected. Unless you're seeing something with the chief medical officer, I don't. I'm not sure he would work for you. He doesn't have the killing instinct.
Do you think people are really born with that?
No.
No, they're not.
But they can be trained. And at this point, that person has been trained to be the other way. He loves too many people in that crew. Most notably, Frank Ordonez.
The loudmouth with the big belly.
I figured that was one of yours. She says, smiling, how do you have him in your pocket? After all, he wants to keep the status quo.
He's not in anybody's pocket. I make a habit of knowing who I'm going up against. And some people can't cover their tracks well enough. I'm going to make you an offer.
Even though you don't trust me. You must
Because
be
I
desperate.
because I dislike this person even more.
Listening.
I want Frank Ordonez dead.
I do that, and you can trust me? Or at least use me for more than mercenary work?
Oh, that's not your primary objective. I have something more immediately important to our grand game than one washed-up purifier. Even if he has the blood of hundreds on his hands. I need you and your crew to be in Washington, D.C. on Independence Day.
Too late, that's now.
Shut up!
So that's the last date in that list. The rest are fakes, proxies. That's the only one that matters, huh?
That's the only one that's a date. All the others are codes that we have for our field agents to know to begin moving in certain directions, begin doing certain things in order to prepare.
Is that transceiver modifiable?
It is.
Do you need a new message? Do you need a new message updated?
He pulls out a sheet of paper and starts writing down a bunch of codes on it. And it's different cities and numbers. And slides it over. This will
Looks it
keep
over.
those who are most loyal to me from being there.
Looks it over, memorizes it, pushes it back. Consider it done.
I don't know what's going to happen there. I have thoughts. I have what I've been told. But I don't trust Iblis. This is too big of an opportunity, too big of a stage for him not to be putting on some sort of performance.
And when the Ramblers try to interfere?
Interfere. If it's Iblis's plan, I want it broken.
Should I be passing you more information on Iblis? If we receive it?
Anything. And there are 3 other people that you need to be aware of. One of them you've already met, Corson. He used to be a much brighter person. Strategic genius. Do you know that he was one of the first people ever infected? He's had it for over 28 years.
I've never heard of that longevity with the disease.
No one has. Vazago and I are old guards, and we've had it for 15 years. His mind is starting to go. It's already infecting his brain. He's starting to lose control of his emotions. He can't understand when he's being loud. He's having muscle spasms over what's left of his muscles. Most of his body isn't his anymore. And that's the man in charge of our military stratagems. It's everything I can do to keep him focused and on task.
He is, how you say, dated, I believe. Past
He is.
expiration.
He is.
Would you like him
I
dealt
don't
with?
know. I don't know where he is, but I do
Something-
need that.
Something tells me on the 4th we will see it.
Then there is Amemon. You haven't met her yet. She's the logistical mastermind behind Kairos, making sure that people get where they need to go and things get where they need to go. And there's
Smuggler.
Gop, who is our spy master.
Hmm.
I need all 3 of them gone. They're working with Iblis in some way, whether it be for their own gain or because they truly believe in his batshit schemes. I don't even know anymore.
What of the plans you had us stealing? They're doctored. I imagine you didn't want them. You were ordered to get them.
Yes.
They've been doctored, as I said.
Then I have further doctored them.
Good.
Who
I don't know
doctors
what
the
they-
doctor?
I don't know what they go to, but I do know that from everything I've read, it was something that the European Union had developed in pieces all over the world with their spy rings, with one goal in mind: to break mutually assured destruction.
Best case, it's some sort of deterrent system. Worst case, something that can strike faster, harder, and more targets than nuclear missiles can is quite a terrifying prospect. One, I think, well, that doesn't matter what I think.
Iblis wants it, which means I don't want him to have it. That's all we need to know.
What if you had it?
There are some things in this world that nobody should have.
I agree, and you are right to say that. It has just come to mind that, how interested are you in the Chief Medical Officer of the Calliope?
I would extend to him the same offer I offered to anyone of our kind.
The problem is, in his current state, he would take that directly to the captain.
Then he's too much of a risk.
But as of late, it has come to his attention that the captain is somewhat less than trusting at the moment.
It seems my little seed's bearing fruit.
I could push in the proper manner, potentially. We shall see.
Just show him the truth. The moment something went against them, who did they look at? Did they look at each other? Did they look at the killers amongst them? Did they look at the man who's butchered entire communities? Burned people alive? Did they look to the person who is some sort of government spook soldier? I can't even figure out what he is. And as for the other one, his record's scrubbed clean. That scares me. It means someone really doesn't want to know what he was involved in.
Which one, Howler or Sin?
Sin.
That is
Been
a problem.
deleted.
Sin is currently, well, let's say he's attracted the attention of his old employers, Comet, who are currently here in New Orleans. As
Takes
they said it,
some
stealing
kind of
is a
cool
sin.
to try and
Sin in New Orleans.
backstab them.
I don't know the full story there, but it's something I think we could use to break the captain's psyche. Too much from too many directions at too many points.
This reminds me. Sin's gonna buy a phone and then head back to the ship. I forgot they were in here. So
Oh, I thought
The
you were
best
gonna. I thought you were gonna go play, have fun time.
he was, and then he probably remembered. Oh yeah, Kim Matt might be here. I should go prepare.
The best place they'll want to strike is at the Mardi Gras festival tonight. Try and convince the crew that they just need the time off. They've had a very rough few days. What better way than to relax with one of the world's greatest festivals?
I'll do what I can. Some will be there, potentially. I don't think we'll get Frank there or Sin. Be aware that they know I've been talking to you and I'm at this meeting. Not all of them, just the captain.
Which is why I'm going to be making sure that you're going to certain places that the hardest part playing this game is knowing which one of your own schemes needs to fail.
But now that you know that, it becomes easier.
knowing where I can put you to make myself fail keeps me off of everybody's back. Although I have one last question.
Duh.
How are you all handling what happened with Hapia?
Poorly. Very poorly. We've called Happia, and I believe that was something handled by Frank. God knows what he said. He probably blubbered all over the place and confessed.
He actually looks nervous at that.
Wait, would she know that though? Because Frank
You
did
said
that
you were
right
gonna go
before he
talk to the
left.
captain.
Oh yeah, okay.
And she doesn't know what was said. She didn't know what was said. She's just like, no, because she had a conversation with Captain last time that she was going to talk, and you've said in past meetings we need to take. I'm like, well, all right.
Gotcha.
Frank did that.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't know what was said, and
Yeah.
blubbering all over himself, throwing himself at Happy's feet, while promising to do anything to reconcile it.
He looks nervous at that.
You know, Happy will probably have us become a private contractor for them.
Hapia is looking for us, he said, motioning between the two of them. We used to be a part of them, as I've said before, and we left. And they have a whole group called themselves Strike Squad Babel.
The
Their
mechs at the base?
I don't believe that was them, no. Babel's whole thing is trying to make sure that Hapia's secrets don't get to Kairos.
Well, then I suppose we have one short-term goal. Get ourselves ingratiated with Happia.
The doctor that leads them is a very wise old man. And he knows how to talk. But don't be convinced by anything he says. He's a stubborn old fool who would trade lives for time. For some
We
cure.
better
that
make
might
sure
not
he
even
continues
exist.
to trade those lives.
He would trade infected lives for time to find his cure. That's
Both
why
know
we...
that's not coming.
Precisely. But if he's working with your crew, that means he might realize where we are. I don't know what Babel will do, but I don't want to find out.
Well, worst comes to worst, they have a little accident. Friendly fire has happened once already.
How long do you think that you all plan on staying here in New Orleans?
Probably just long enough to take on supplies. Especially after I let them know that one of the codes that, the old code is currently on, taking us to DC. We'll definitely try to be there for the 4th. And come hell or high water. We'll get there early to try and figure out what's going on and attempt to stop it.
And then you and I won't be in contact until the 4th.
Okay. How should I pass information your way?
I have a project for you to work on, and when it's successfully done, leave it in a dead drop somewhere in DC and I'll find it. And he pulls a sheet of paper.
Okay.
And I will real quickly find it and link it. It's encoded. It's an encrypted note.
Oh boy, secret message.
And I'll put it in the thing because I
Ancient
think all
man.
of you have to work together to find out what it means.
You're gonna give it to all of us or just one of us?
It's in the Yakshas channel.
Oh, gotcha. All right, slide it on over. Okay.
If you can break the encryption, I would love to know what's on it. I had this intercepted.
All right.
All I managed to get out of it was this phrase. It was like a text message being read aloud.
So, what do I tell the captain of our meeting here? That you want me to break this?
Yes.
I can do that. I will, say you stonewalled me from the AM transmission. It was dangerous to push any harder.
Sorry, I'm just typing this out.
No worries. Do you really think Happia is going to be that big of a threat?
To all of Kairos? No. To myself and Vozigo? Maybe. That's what I care about.
What if we gave them another target? What would entice them away from you and towards someone else?
Someone who is a more clear and present threat.
Perhaps someone putting on a show? July 4th?
I'm sure Iblis will be making enemies then.
Whatever resources they have here, we can offer to take to DC.
He thinks on that for a moment and nods. Just be careful.
Yeah. Look, if anything is discovered, worst that happens, you lose your pawn.
I'd rather not, but we'll see.
Of course. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, she stands, offers her hand.
He pushes himself up to a stand and, leaning on Vozigo, takes your hand with his good one.
Yeah. Shakes
So he doesn't
hand.
spill over to that side.
Yeah. Shakes his hand. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to finally be a part of a family.
I hate to spoil such a good mood, but don't disappoint.
Yeah.
He nods and motions for you to leave.
Yep. I take my leave.
All right. I just realized that went on for a really long time, and I'm sorry to my other players.
You're good.
Hey, watching the unfolding of a triple agent.
Or is it a quadruple agent? We may never know.
I've been staring at this code trying to figure out what the hell you're trying to do.
Yeah, I've been fucking around with it a little bit.
I don't know where that I'm trying to get back to you about yesterday's message part is supposed to be in this code.
Yeah.
I'll
Anyway.
let you stew on it. I think we're going to end it there. I'm sorry if everybody didn't get a lot of time, but
You're good.
better next time.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's go for sign-offs. Let us start with Mr. Lady Pants, Mr. Daniel.
Hi. Oh shoot. Sorry, I'm stuck on that. I'm staring at it and it hurts. So what up? It's Ask McNasty, aka Six and Wow, Daniel, whatever. I'm tired. It's midnight for me. Yeah, you caught me here playing Sin, and he's gonna buy a phone and go back to the ship, and he and Set have to work on some stuff. So that's gonna be fun. But beyond that, you can catch me here on Mondays and Wednesdays and all throughout May. Every other Thursday, Fridays, here again on Sundays. All sorts of things. You just swing on by and check us out now, you hear?
Alrighty. Let's move on to Mike.
Hi everybody, I'm Win5 Get 1 Free, also known as Mike. You can catch me today playing good old Frank, who's going through some shit. You can also catch me on Thursdays, or on Mondays, as ex-Paralictor Burn Ward, Cop. You can also catch me on Thursdays, where I'm either running Project Severovo, like this week, or you can catch me where I'm running New Amsterdam, which they just finished a really cool and kind of emotional arc. Yeah, that's where you can catch me. I think I'm not missing anything. Yeah.
What about the thing on the day with the things?
Ah, shit, I forgot about that one. Well, it's too late now.
That sucks. Oh well. Gunner.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cyrus Smith. Today you caught me running Indiana, the double agent turned triple agent. We can't call her a quadruple agent until we see what she tells the captain. Also, we have lots of things, and basically, the players just can't trust anything I say anymore because they have no clue. They're
I don't even trust anything you say.
I was gonna say I don't even know if the players want to trust anything. But yeah, you can also find me playing non-triple agent characters, such as on Mondays, maybe, Wednesdays, maybe, Thursdays, depending on the game, yeah, maybe, and Fridays. Well, I mean, I am my own double agent because I run that game. Anyways, that's it for me.
Last and certainly not least, we have the Magic Man himself, Computer King. You might be muted.
Damn it, I was. I'm the Computer King, the supervillain of streaming. And I was playing a guy who can't figure out magic cards from magic cards. On Mondays, I'm in Fire Shrike as a little guy who's 3 foot tall, has 4 arms, and kicks ass. On Wednesdays, I run from Hench to Mensch, where I'm making some people be supervillains, and it's pretty damn fun. On Thursday, every other Thursday, I'm in New Amsterdam, and on Fridays, I'm in Tales from the Cosmos. And whenever I do stream, it's under the name The Computer King. Pretty easy to remember it that way. And just this past yesterday, i.e. Saturday, I did a watch party of the movie Tomorrow War, starring Chris Pine. And it's pretty damn good. And that's all I've been doing.
And I guess that just leaves it to me. Hi ho, friendolas. My name is James, otherwise known as Night. You caught me here today running Yakshas, where I haven't had a lot of combat recently. Am I stupid?
We got Daniel. He was the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Lady Pig.
Okay.
We're just so used to Daniel not Daniel always getting skipped over.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm bad at my job.
You're not the only one.
That's why I'm not paid for this.
God.
I say as I stare at the audience who can give us their tasty, tasty Twitch Prime subs.
And bits.
Give
and
us
bits.
bits. Give us bits. Help us pay for art. Give us bits, please. Oh God, please.
Help us pay for our poor life choices.
I'll prostrate myself in front of the audience just to give us bits.
Okay, I'm gonna start over because they gave me a panic attack. So I was like, oh no, not again, Daniel. But hi ho, friendos. My name's James, otherwise known as the Nightheart. You caught me here today playing Yakshas, where I run Yakshas. So I guess I do play Yakshas because I am Yakshas. I am the Senate, and oh boy, not a lot of combat, but
You will run.
I think I'm getting my players to set up a whole bunch of houses of cards, and then I'm just gonna get to fucking ruin it, and they're all gonna be mad or sad or both. It's gonna be great. You can also catch me here sometimes on Mondays as a guest star in Fire Strike, where I play Sterile Silverchild. Might as well be called S because he's pretty much out. Or you can find me here, depending on the Thursday, either in Projects Ever Over, where I play myself, my worst character, or you can find me in New Amsterdam, where I play Dove, who got to tell people, don't try and fix a kid, it's Dutch Town. And on Fridays, you can find me here playing 11 fucking characters. More to come in Tales from the Cosmos, because I have a problem and the DM keeps feeding it, and also it's fun to be the entire universe. I think that's it for me. So I think we're going to get out of here today on an RIP player trust.
Player trust, and I totally didn't have anything in ruining